You'll never take me alive.
Wait, what's happening?
You fucking know who it is, and I'm gonna get my shotgun. Hang on, I'll be back.
Well, that's a foolhardy move, because how could you take me alive with a shotgun?
You just said I'll never take you alive, and that's fine. I'll fucking kill you myself.
Why can't we be friends?
Because you killed Brian!
No, I didn't.
Tegan, I think you messed with your Ouija board.
Did I mess with my Ouija board? Fuck.
Rocky.
Oh god, who is this? Yes?
Sometimes I romance the juice machine.
Oh no. How many people are fighting over this goddamn juice machine?
It's a juice machine romance.
What is your name?
Fresca, champagne.
Oh god damn it.
Jail.
Suffering never dies, Rocky. I salt my french fries with your tears.
Those are some soggy-ass fries.
I dry out the tears, Tegan.
Disgusting.
Then why don't you just use salt? Like, save yourself a step.
You know, I never thought of that. It sounds complicated, like using Facebook Messenger from a phone.
Everyone does it. Like, everyone on the planet. Oh my god, okay, it's fine. Whatever. Alright, Champagne Fresca. Because that's your name. Like, you can put the comma in the middle if you want, but, like, that's just saying your own name backwards.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay. Why are you here?
Well, the reports of my murdering Brian are greatly exaggerated.
Oh, is that so?
He's doing a good enough job with his haphazard sleep schedule himself.
Okay, you don't get to talk about our friend that way, alright? It's just how that's gonna go. We'll take this outside, Fresca, champagne.
Why are we going outside? Are we having a barbecue?
Maybe some fisticuffs.
Oh, well, let me tell you something, Rocky Hardy. The only way you and I are getting on a World Star is if I beat your ass.
Oh, okay. Look at this.
Hello, everyone. Rocky Hardy, how are you?
I'm still alive, man.
Fantastic. Tegan Somerset, what it is, how you be?
Finally got my fucking shotgun. I'm ready.
Fresco's already gone, Teeks.
Gonna defend this turf! I'm instigating the castle clause. This is my castle and I'm gonna fucking defend it.
Tegan.
I will shoot first and ask questions later. I belong in Texas right now.
Oh my god, that's not
Tegan,
what Texas is about.
I got a question for you.
Uh-huh.
You can get $10,000 for going on a 2-day road trip with Festival Hardbody, or $100,000 for going on a 4-day road trip with Champagne Fresca. What money do you take?
Okay, hang on. I gotta write this down. 2 days equals 10K.
With Festival Hardbody.
With Festival, okay.
You know, you're going to the Denny's with Festival Hardbody. You're planning your travel route with Hardbody. Or
right.
4 days, 4 days with Champagne Fresca for $100,000.
Where are we going?
Well, that's between you and your travel companion.
Okay. Is Festival actively smoking, or can I convince him to use edibles instead?
Again, it would be between you and Festival.
For the safety of my lungs, if I could get him to use edibles instead, I think I would do the 2 days, and I would restrict our road trip to Colorado. 2 days, but we drive around the entirety of Colorado and see all the sights.
Okay.
It's legal in Colorado, so I won't get in trouble, and then I don't have to partake in anything, and I can leave with $10,000.
Okay.
But if I have to spend more than 5 hours with Champagne Fresca, I will murder her. I will drive that car off a cliff.
So what I'm hearing is that Champagne Fresca is so intolerable that even though it's $90,000 more, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
Rocky, same scenario.
I'll take the 100K. I've dealt with worse for longer periods of time for less money.
You've dealt with it worse than Champagne Fresca.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Besides, if I take the 100K, I could spend 10K having them both killed, and then I never have to talk to them again.
Nice. All right.
Holy Jesus.
Rocky, Rocky, can I just do a couple road trips with Festival and, like, pitch in my winnings?
Yeah, that's cool. I'm about that.
First of all, why the fuck are you people having Festival Hardbody killed? He's a good guy.
No, he's not. He's canonically not a good dude.
I mean, he likes Clay Fighter. Like, something's not all right with that guy.
Oh my god, are we really killing people over their choices in media?
Hey, I'm not killing them. That's not what I said. I said I would have them killed. I would pay a man a reasonable amount of money to bring me his life on a platter.
Here's the thing, Brian. We are afraid that they will get together. This is why Rocky and I are doing our road trip simultaneously. We're afraid they're going to get together and then reproduce, and we cannot have that happening.
How the fuck are they going to have a baby?
Well, Brian, when a man and a woman love each other very much, sometimes even if they don't...
I'm sorry, which one are you gendering as a woman?
Is Champagne Fresca not the femme of the relationship?
Champagne Fresca is not a femme.
Definitely heard of femme energy like a few minutes
Yeah, there's
ago.
definitely femme energy.
Okay.
I made an assumption.
Tegan's allowed to be wrong.
I am allowed to be wrong, but only like once a year.
If Tegan is only allowed to be wrong once a year, and Tegan has 2 good ideas a show, then that means that Tegan speaks 5 times a year on the show?
That sounds like the right percentage anyway, compared to how much you and Rocky talk.
Oh.
That was pretty good.
Jesus.
I just slid that right in there. It was a good one. Thanks. Thanks.
Tegan's gonna get on World Star. God damn.
Tegan fucking murders people with words. Like, you thought cutting words was just a spell.
I'll convey this to Champagne Fresca.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Impossible Coin. This is Tegan Somerset. I'm in Ohio and very confused. We're a podcast about video games or something sometimes.
Yep, it's true.
Everyone else is to my left. I'm on the right side of the table here, because I'm always right.
You're right like twice a year.
No, I have 2 good ideas a show. And I can only be wrong once, so I'm right the rest of the time.
Oh, shit. Damn it. Why do we have that? It's way too powerful.
Keep the fuck up, Robbie.
God damn it.
It's okay, I only speak. I only say 105 lines a year, so we're fine.
Oh my god.
So, it looks like we have a lot on our plates this week. So, I suppose we should move forward from the fuckery into the business. Tegan, what's this horse shit about a Kojima name?
Brian David Gilbert, the guy who had us figure out how to calculate our cat's HP. Remember that? Remember when we did that? We totally did that. He figured out a way to figure out your name in a Kojima game.
This looks exhausting.
It's not that hard.
It took 15 minutes.
Yeah, it took me 20 minutes, but I also had to do it 3 times because I had to navigate 2 other people through it, so... And they were drunk.
Tegan navigated drunk people through this in 20 minutes, Brian.
I did. I have a talent.
Uh-huh. Were either of those drunk people old or impatient?
I mean, they were drunk, so yes, they were impatient.
They weren't exactly old.
Okay.
They were both younger than me, but not by much.
This looks like the application to work at an herbal supplement store.
So Brian didn't do it, is what we're hearing.
Brian didn't do it.
So Brian, do you want to do it right now?
Yeah, it would be super quick.
Fine.
You need some dice. In fact, I'll roll dice for you, just to save you the trouble.
Okay, Brian, are you going to open up a Word document so you can keep track of this, or am I going to write everything down?
I have the thing in front of me.
Okay, cool. So, do you have dice, or is Rocky going to roll for you?
Rocky is apparently navigating that hellscape.
What? I got the dice. It's like right next to me. Let's go.
Cool, roll us a d6. Let's find out how many names Brian has. I hope he has 6.
Oh, hell yeah, he has 6.
Oh, yeah! Brian, you get to do the second half of this, sections 4 through whatever, as many times as you have names. Amazing, but you only have to do sections 1 through 3 once.
Let's just do one for the sake of brevity.
Right.
Okay, that's fair. So, Brian, you don't have to tell us what your full name is, because we know your full name.
Really?
Yeah, it's Brian Cartwright.
He has a middle name.
Yeah, he has a middle name, but it doesn't matter.
Then why would you need my full name if it doesn't fucking matter?
I just meant that part doesn't matter for the show. Like, you can put your full name down. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you.
Oh, God.
What do you do at your occupation, Brian, at your real life job? What do you do?
What do you do, Brian?
What do you do? What pays the bills?
I'm a risk analyst.
You're a risk analyst. Ooh, okay. So now take one of those words and condense it down into a single ER noun.
A single ER noun.
Yeah, I did an OR noun just because you can't do an ER noun with my title.
Well, I guess I would be analyzer.
Oh, yeah. Cool. What was your first pet's specific species or breed?
Cat.
Species/breed. A cat? What kind of cat? What kind of fucking cat, Brian?
What the fuck do you want from me? I was in the 2nd fucking grade.
Do you remember what the cat looked like?
Yes.
Okay.
What'd it look
It
like?
was a gray cat. I named it Smokey.
Neat.
It's a Russian blue.
No,
Amazing.
it wasn't a Russian fucking blue. It got left on our... All right, keep going.
Okay, do you want to just go with American short hair then?
It's a species or breed. Jesus Christ.
It's a cat.
It's a fucking cat.
Mine's a fucking cat.
It's a fucking cat.
Brian, what's your most embarrassing childhood memory?
Yeah.
Oh,
Be specific.
being forced to sit in dog shit by a bully in the 4th grade.
Wow.
Yo! That's
All right.
fucked, bro.
Can you condense that into 2 words?
No.
Shit sitting.
Shit sit. I'm sorry, Brian. That's awful. But I did laugh at it. What is the object that you would least like to be stabbed by?
A sharp one.
You gotta name an object, not just like an adjective.
A
Okay.
condition. Like Brian David Gilbert picked a trident because you're actually stabbed 3 times, but it's only one object.
I chose a rusty broken cheese grater.
I picked a rusty rake, so like similar vibes.
Okay. I guess anything that could be opened after the stabbing, so I'm going to go with a sharpened speculum.
Ooh.
That's a good
Ooh. Ah! Oh god. Oh.
You're the one who asked me to use my imagination.
Don't like
No,
that.
this is-
Don't like
well,
that
yeah.
one. That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a
Disgusting.
good one.
I hate it.
Don't want to be stabbed by
Thanks.
that. Not at all.
What is something you're good at? It has to be a verb ending in ing.
God, that requires a lot of introspection and self-value. I don't know.
Brent, there are obviously some things that you were good at.
I don't know. Am I good at this show?
You're pretty good at the show.
Hosting.
Hosting.
Okay.
Okay.
Hosting.
Okay, I have
Got
a
it.
question about number 7.
All right. So if you had to eat, if someone had a gun to your head and told you you had to eat as many carrots as you could, how many carrots could you eat?
Okay, that's why I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we talking like them full-size carrots, or is it like baby carrots?
Baby carrots. We're going to assume baby carrots.
What? I assume full-size carrots.
No one's going to make you eat a full-size fucking carrot.
Hey,
If
gun
there's
in my
some
head, I
maniac
don't know
with a
what they're
fucking
going
gun
to do
and a carrot
to you.
agenda. There are no guarantees.
Okay, because Brian David Gilbert said 18, I'm like, baby carrots. They gotta be baby carrots.
No,
There's
that's like
no
under
way.
the fear of his life. Like, it's like, you're going to eat these carrots or you're going to die. I think I could put 18 carrots in this
I hope
food.
I'm fucking starving to death then, because I said 22.
Maybe. Brian, let's assume full-size carrots.
Uh,
Gun to your head.
I don't know.
Gunda, everybody said. Your head,
Sure.
your cat's head, your wife's
I mean,
head.
you're probably
Mom's
going to
head.
fucking eat the carrots until your stomach bursts.
Yeah. So, like, how many
many
carrots
is
is
that?
that?
I don't know, like 30, 40?
Okay, we'll say 40 carrots for Brian.
Oh my god. What is your greatest intangible fear?
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's on the list.
I said darkness.
I said abandonment.
What does intangible
Abandonment's
mean?
good.
It means
means
you
you
can't
cannot
touch it with
touch
your
it.
hands.
Oh.
Yeah, death, loneliness, the fear of fear itself. Not a thing that you can look at and say, that thing is making me upset.
Yeah, you can't do that with intangible fears.
There are lots of practical things
Sure.
that are, by this definition, intangible because I can't physically touch them.
Yeah, like height.
I was going to say my family's financial security, the ability to retire, declining health.
Yeah, financial insecurity is, I think, intangible because, like, what is financial security anymore?
Yeah. Also,
All of these things are things that cannot be physically touched. You know, it's not like fucking Batman.
Yeah, that works.
You know, you could touch Batman. You can't touch death, but you can touch
Yeah.
Batman.
So if you're afraid of Batman, like, okay, that's a tangible fear.
yeah, Batman's a tangible fear because if Batman were next to you, you could touch him.
And
Right,
he could also
but
touch you, and that'd be fucking weird.
Ooh, terrifying.
Your family's financial security cannot be touched, or your ability to retire cannot be touched,
Right.
or the respect of your coworkers cannot be touched.
Right. I think we've definitely gathered intangible versus tangible here.
What's your greatest intangible fear? I don't like the dark. I don't like the dark at all. So that's what I picked. I don't like the dark. I don't like it when it's dark. Rocky, what'd you pick?
Abandonment. Less concisely, it's the feeling of being left behind by progress.
All right.
But more succinctly, it's abandonment.
That's fair. Time marches on and waits for no one sort of thing.
True. Gotta keep moving. Gotta go fast.
I guess I'm going to go with, like, intense physical pain because I assume it signals my declining health.
Okay, but here's my question. Are you more afraid of the sensation of pain or the fact that your health is declining?
The sensation of pain.
Okay, so then we just go with incredible pain.
Interesting.
Why is that interesting?
It just is.
This is fucking stupid.
What's your greatest tangible fear, Brian?
Tangible fear now. Is it still Batman?
No, it was never Batman. It was never Batman.
Since we're sharing, Rocky, what was yours? Rocky has to look at his list.
Yeah, I actually do. Homelessness.
That's not a fucking tangible fear.
He's afraid of losing his house. I mean...
It's homelessness is an intangible fear.
Okay, fine. I'll redo it.
Pick a new fear.
That's why I asked so many qualifying questions.
Okay, I mean, like, it's fine. The idea is to be fun, not necessarily right.
I mean, but it does have to fit the parameters, so...
Okay. Also, it didn't even actually factor into my name.
It didn't factor into mine either, but...
Biggest tangible fear...
Mine's dead bees.
Snipers.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
You'd never see them coming. A good sniper, like, you would just be dead.
You know what, though? If that's how you gotta go, that's the way to go.
There are better ways to go, Tegan, I promise.
Yeah, I don't like dead bees. Specifically dead, specifically bees.
Fair enough.
Don't like them.
And you alleged to be afraid of this?
Yeah, I'm very afraid of it. Oh, yeah. Yep. I'll avoid a room if there's a dead bee in it.
I don't believe you.
I'll full-on avoid the room. Yup. I break out in sweats. I shriek. I make Alex come remove it with a vacuum cleaner and then empty the vacuum cleaner because I can't stand knowing that the dead bee is in the vacuum cleaner. Like, they stare at you with all of their eyes and they can still sting you. It's fucking terrifying. I don't like it. I do not. And they curl in on themselves all weird. Ugh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I do not like it. Oh, I'm very uncomfortable now.
Brian, what were you doing before you started this?
Wait, I never answered this fucking question.
No, you haven't answered the question.
Oh yeah, tangible fear.
Corpses of people or animals that I love.
That just sounds like you're afraid of death again. Or maybe being alone.
Also that. There's a lot to go with there.
This fucking sucks.
We're not even at the fun part yet.
I promise it'll pay off, Brian. It'll pay off.
Yeah, it'll be silly.
This is, you know what? I can't wait to shit all over this when we get to the alleged payoff.
It's going to be great.
Continue.
Okay, so what were you doing before you started this worksheet?
Fucking podcasting.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah. What condition is your body currently in? It is a single word answer.
Shitty.
Oh. What's your favorite state of matter?
What the fuck is this?
What's your favorite state of matter? There is solid and liquid snake, Brian. You need a state of matter.
Oh, I can't be gaseous snake?
You can be gaseous.
You can be gaseous.
You need to pick a favorite state of matter. I picked plasma.
I also picked plasma.
Yeah!
You guys are both tryhards.
Yeah, I guess, dude.
Plasma makes light. I like light. I like stuff that glows.
I like the way plasma moves. I think it's neat.
I will be solid.
Solid, okay. Brian. I like it. I'm into it. Let's see. What is a word that your name kind of sounds like?
Don't say it, Tegan, I swear.
I won't.
It doesn't matter. He has the worksheet in front of him. It doesn't matter.
I know.
You mean Exempio Gratis, Brian, Arrow, Brain?
Yep.
Yeah.
Fine. There we go.
You're going to stick with Brain? You're not going to do another one?
Rocky, did you just go with Rocky?
I went with Cocky, actually.
Oh, okay. Neat.
I mean, Brian and Brain sound nothing alike.
Mm-hmm.
But digging into that would underscore the amount of thought and effort that went into designing this sort of shit.
I mean, if we were just going with, like, what Microsoft Word occasionally adjusts your name to, I could have gone with Texan. Because I am always autocorrect to Texan.
Texan.
But...
That's funny.
Libra.
Oh, Brian's a Libra. Okay. If you had to define your personality in one word, what would it be? Rocky, if you didn't say chill, I was gonna...
Exhausted.
Exhausted? Just always tired. Fair.
Yeah.
I actually chose overbearing.
Oh, okay. Interesting. We all chose kind of negative words. I picked snarky.
Tegan is pretty snarky.
I am pretty snarky. The problem is I have a lot of very separate personalities, so I picked the one that was like the most relaxed. Anyway, section 3. Who's your favorite film character that is played by Kurt Russell?
What?
Who is your favorite film character, but they have to be played by Kurt Russell? Like, go to Kurt Russell's IMDb, pick a character he's played.
No, I have a working familiarity with the career of Kurt Russell.
Oh, see, I do not.
Brad, you have an answer to this question. I just want to know what it is.
Yeah, it's Jack Burton.
Okay.
I chose Mr. Nobody.
I picked Santa Claus.
Have you nerds never seen Big Trouble in Little China?
No.
Once.
Brian, I don't know if you know this about me. I don't watch movies. I barely watch anime. What is the last word of the title of your favorite Kubrick film?
Shining.
I knew it. Mine was Odyssey.
Mine too. I've also never seen a Kubrick film. What is the first word in the title of your favorite Joy Division album?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you trash bags don't listen to Joy Division.
I also had to look up their discography.
Is there a second of all to this?
And second of all, unknown. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Mine was fractured, actually.
What is the scientific term you picked up from listening to NPR once?
None.
I said Dengvaxia, because that's the new dengue virus vaccine.
Like,
I thought that was neat.
listening to live broadcast radio isn't really part of my life, and so, like, I guess the answer is none.
Well, I mean, it's a joke, but generally, it's just one fringe, like, scientific term that you can use to, like, flex on people. I chose Big Crunch.
I hear Brian typing.
I got nothing.
I mean, since we're not doing all 6 names,
We probably won't need
we
it.
probably won't need it. What's the next one?
What's a piece of military hardware you think is cool even though war is bad? I said tanks. I think tanks are cool. And all I could think of was the one Vine. Get out of the tank, you're not my dad. Get out of the tank, you're not my dad. I'm in this tank and you are not my dad.
The SR-71?
Okay.
What is that?
It's a plane.
Ooh. Tanks and planes. Nice. Brian, what is something you'd enjoy watching Mads Mikkelsen do? But if you want, you could just condense it into one word.
Act.
All right. Fair. That's, I think, the most straightforward answer.
I'm not here to sleaze on Mr. Mickelson.
See, I said I'd like to see him cook. He looks like a guy who would be fun to watch in the kitchen.
I believe that. I chose whittling a bird from an old stump.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought that would be fun for me to watch.
So, guys, I just want to, like, thank our listeners, because once we're done with this, I'm going to throw myself into the fucking sun. I'm not sure what this show will be like when it's just, Rocky and Tegan forever. Hopefully they'll, keep the general format. Peace and love. I have to backflip off the fucking earth.
Brian, we're at the part where we get to determine your name condition.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Also, you can't leave.
It's true, it's your show.
It's your show, you can't leave. You can kick us off of it and get new hosts.
Almost done. We're on
page
page 4 of 11, Tegan.
Yeah,
we're on page 4. This is where all the fast stuff comes
True.
in. So this is where we determine the condition of your name.
Let's continue before I yeet my soul off a cliff.
Okay. So, Rocky, can you roll us a D4 to find out if he has a name that ends in the word man?
2.
He does not have a name that ends in the word man. Excellent.
Bastard.
Can you roll us a D8 to determine the additional condition of his name?
4.
He does not have a condition.
Shout outs.
Lucky duck.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. God damn it.
Can you roll us a D12 to find out if he is a clone?
Come on. There we go. 6.
Nope, he is not a clone. Congratulations. Please roll us 2 D10s to find out if he is actually Hideo Kojima.
No way he gets it. 50.
Nice! You are not Hideo Kojima.
If you roll 69, you're Hideo Kojima. That's just it. And we're done.
All right, that was section 4. That was the easiest section. Now we're on to section 5. This determines which section we have to look at to determine the name category. Rocky, can you roll us a d20?
D20. 9.
A 9. He has a horny name!
Of course he does.
Yay! Join me in the horny name section 8, which is on page 8.
Mm-hmm.
So first we have to get your answer from section 2, number 3, which will be your last name. Section 2, number 3 is the cat, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. So your last name is Cat. Rocky, will you roll us a d4 to determine his first name?
2.
His first name is Naked! You can add Lickable as your middle name, but you're done, Brian. You are Naked Cat.
Naked Cat.
Naked Cat, that's your Kojima name. Congratulations!
The music at the beginning end of this show is by Big Soch. You can follow him online at
Oh, God.
Hillary_Swank.
So glad that Big Soch done it.
Our new t-shirt and logo are designed by Lauren Moran. You can follow her on Twitter at Lauren Moran. And please consider donating to her Patreon.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Rocky, what kind of name did you have?
My name is Old Articulating Fixer Man.
Oh.
If you're wondering how I got this name, I was an incredible fake lawyer back in the day. Faked my way all the way to the Texas Supreme Court. I articulate with the best of them. And my experience fixing would blow your mind. I fix mostly computers, but I can fix anything. I've been fixing it since I was a child. Ever since I saw Mr. Nobody broke up the Familia, I've dedicated my life to fixing whatever I could.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Brian is not amused.
Not in the least.
I'm sorry, Naked Cat is not amused. Excuse me.
Yeah, Naked Cat is not amused. Oh, God. Nice. That's a good one. All right. That was fun.
What'd you end up with, Teeks?
I am Tortoiseshell Spider. I am a clone, so I did not choose my name. My name chose me.
Tortoiseshell Spider. Okay.
Tortoiseshell Spider, yep. I had the clone condition, and I was doing it, and then I was like, Alex, I need you to do this with me so that I can pick half of one of your names. And he had 6 lovely names to choose from. And I picked the Spider. And so I took the end of my name and I put the beginning of my name and the end of his name. And I am Tortoiseshell Spider. The best name. Okay, so Alex had 6 names. Let me tell you his names. Because they are many and they are stupid. One of these sounds like a legit Kojima name, and the rest of them are dumb. So his names are Drunk Fucking King Charles Cavalier.
Sure.
The Spider. Oleander Coordinator Man. Nice Coordinator. The SS Uniform. And Presley Coordinator.
Oh my god.
Like, 2 of those could be actual Kojima names.
I like the Oleander Coordinator.
But I was thinking his actual name is Presley Coordinator, and then his code name is The Spider.
Okay, Brian, go ahead. Let loose. You can shit on it. Let's go.
No, I'm good. That was so bad, it even drained me of the will to shit on it.
Okay, Tegan, how's Death Stranding?
It's amazing. It's a whole time. There are a bunch of players who are building a highway. Like a legit highway.
That's cool.
Across their games, because once you connect up each of the little bases, you can see everything that other players have put down in that area, including, like, signs that warn you where BTs spawn, and other people's ladders, and ropes, and bridges that they built, and post boxes and stuff. And you can fuck with other people's stuff. So, like, if someone puts a post box down, you can upgrade the post box and add music to it, and then you can all, like, change music. And once everything's linked up, if you shout out into the void, people's stuff will shout back at you.
Ooh.
To, like, indicate other couriers are around. It's really neat. It's so neat. Oh my goodness.
So maybe the end game is worth it. That could be cool.
This game so far is better than Jedi The Last Order by like leaps and bounds. Like Walking Simulator is the game that I want to play. Also, Walking Simulator has a baby caretaking minigame, which is really great. We have so many working theories, it's ridiculous. But anyway, the BB gets upset when you fall a lot because it gets jostled around and scared, or like if you're too close to like the BTs and you get like attacked, the baby also gets upset. And so you have to soothe the baby. And what he does is he like unhooks the little baby and then like rocks it back and forth, and the little blinky thing like turns itself into a mobile, so it'll like just spin around like slowly, and it plays Rockabye Baby. Oh my god, so cute. And so when you're rocking the baby in the artificial womb, the BB, when it gets happy, it giggles and heart-shaped bubbles come out of its mouth. It's so good.
That's weird, but that doesn't sound safe. Heart-shaped bubbles?
Heart-shaped bubbles! Like little,
man.
wow. It's so cute. And like we'll like do things and we'll just be like, oh no, the baby's upset, hang on. And we like spend a couple minutes soothing the baby, and then we're like, okay, we're done soothing the baby. And whenever, if Sam is like resting, if you have him like sleep, he'll like cuddle the baby like protectively. It's so cute. It's so cute.
These are good things.
Yeah, these are good things. Also, I need the canteen. I need that to exist in real life. I need all of the water I come in contact with, or it comes in contact with, to be converted into Monster. That's just what I need. But it's cute. It's good. It's fun. The combat is not the focus of the game.
Okay.
The focus of the game is really making life easier for everybody, not just yourself.
I could get behind that.
It's really neat. So, like, people will build a bridge, and if you don't like where it is, you can, like, commission to have the bridge moved to, like, a better location and stuff. I'm really interested in this highway project. There's a whole subreddit for it, because you can drop off supplies for the players who are building the highway to use in the highway project. You can, like, send them supplies via the post boxes and stuff so that they can work on building the highway to make life easier for people who are using, like, the bikes and stuff to get between, like, big BT areas.
It kind of reminds me of, like, the Journey to the Center of Hawthorne project. Like, there was an episode of Community where they made a video game, and the characters had to, like, you know, go through it or whatever. And there were a couple people, obviously, who watched that show, and they're like, hey, this should be a real video game. And a couple people with, like, some programming chops, and like, you know what? This could be a real video game. And so they made, like, a subreddit, and, like, people would drop by and, like, show up with sprite sheets or, like, contribute music or whatever until, like, it was ultimately a playable video game. It's still up, I think. It's, like, Our Hawthorne.
Oh, that's cool.
But the Highway Project sounds a lot more like the collaborative hope that Kojima was, like, trying to build. Like, the whole, like, stick versus, like, rope game type of interaction. That's good that there is some real meat on it. I'll fuck with it, maybe in December.
So if someone leaves, like, a rope somewhere, you can thumb it up, you can give it likes, and the more likes a rope has, the more likely people are to use it. A lot of people are putting down BT signs, which look like little ghosts, to be like, hey, they've spawned here before, be careful, sort of thing. So, like, even if they're not there now, they could spawn there. So just so you're aware, don't fucking rest right here, because it's going to be a nightmare.
That's cool.
It's very neat. It's very neat. I'm really enjoying it. Also, the OST's on Spotify, so, like, I already downloaded it.
Brian, you have any plans to mess with Death Stranding?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because the embargo for Death Stranding lifted so far ahead of when the game actually came out, it was kind of an unusual case of, like, where I kind of felt like I was already had my fill of the Death Stranding discourse even before the game came out.
Right.
Sure.
There are some things about it which sound, like, conceptually interesting to me, like the whole idea of a game where your primary goals are making other people's lives easier and acknowledging other people's contributions to your own life through the use of a like button sounds interesting. It sounds like some of the stuff that is, like, around the edges of the experience are things that are still probably, like, left in the game because of like some residual need for video gaminess. Like you mentioned, Tegan, that the idea that like, combat isn't the focus, but when I hear about the stuff that people like about it, it seems like combat never comes up at all because the combat is like overly simple, and all the stuff that's interesting is the movement and the carrying and figuring out how to like stack shit on your back and configure the shit on your back correctly and things like that.
I mean, it's also important to know that like your character is not a fighter. Like that's not in his job. He's not like some soldier. He's not a warrior. He doesn't have that kind of skill set built into him. So you're just an average Joe. Of course your combat's going to be simple. You're not like a trained soldier. And I think that makes sense with it.
Something which has like started to crop up in the last couple days is the new game from Keita Takahashi, Wadum, which is coming out on December the 17th on PlayStation and PC, exclusively on the Epic Game Store. Now that Death Stranding is out, Takahashi is saying that there's a lot of conceptual similarities between Wadum and Death Stranding.
That's interesting, because these games look nothing alike.
Yeah, the visuals of the games like bear no similarity, but like it would not be the first time that like games come out where they share seemingly no visual DNA, but like when you look under the hood and see what the games are trying to accomplish, you're like, okay, like there are some shared design philosophies here.
Yeah.
Far Cry 2 and Breath of the Wild don't really look like each other, but they're definitely kissing cousins. I'm kind of curious about like the idea of this is like some kind of like emergent game genre. Like the idea that like there are designers out there who are like, I want to make a genre about helping others and acknowledging the help that you've received, like, which I guess is also kind of like the underlying goal of Kind Words, which came out a couple months ago.
Right.
And maybe the fact that people like feel the need to turn this into a game genre speaks to how much of a disaster humanity has become, that this was now like be gamified. Like,
I wouldn't call it a disaster. Like, I mean, if games are interactable media, then like what people are doing when they make video games are crafting the interactions that they want to have. Like, in fact, I think this like emergence of gameplay seems to be like in a direct counter to like the antagonistic and like combative genres that have been around since forever. Like we had a decade of like God of War, Call of Duty.
I reject the idea that like games are indicative of the interactions that we want to have.
Okay.
Are you sure? Because I long for the ability to actually pay off a home and live with neighbors that I like, and that's what Animal Crossing is.
Well, Tegan, do you also long for the ability to jump on fucking mushrooms' heads?
Maybe the idea of feel that powerful, that you're free to do that. But Mario's a lot more about like movement than it is about like
walk into
murder.
people's houses and pick up pots and fling them at the wall, and
find money
sometimes,
and take it. Hell
actually,
yeah!
Yeah.
Just, we like wantonly kill things as you roam the countryside.
We do have those moods. Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean,
on a
all
certain
right, guys.
afternoon.
Like, I mean, you can bullshit yourself into thinking that this is real or not. Like, that's up to you. But like, we do not consume media as a reflection of our preferred lives. It is strictly...
Sure. I'm not talking about preferred lives. I'm talking about expressions of, like, mood. Specifically. It's like sometimes you're in a mood to, like, ravage a countryside and, like, hope that those consequences don't mean anything. And that can be okay. Especially in video games. That's, like, what the whole, like moms against, like, video games or whatever, like, argument was about. Like, they're afraid that kids are wanting to just go on wanton murder sprees. Like, nah, but, like, maybe if you can release that stress some way, like, you don't have to deal with it in other places. That's just it.
So I guess I'm not sure if I'm going to screw with Death Stranding. I've got some stuff right now on my backlog, which is more urgent.
Sure.
We still need to probably circle up about, like, what kind of shape Game of the Year is going to take this year. Especially since I hear, like, Death Stranding, it's not a little boy game. It's a big boy game. Like, you're going to be in there for a while. Like, it seems like most playthroughs of the game are between, like, 60 and 80 hours.
Yep.
Brian, I think even if you don't fuck with it for this Game of the Year, you should make some time to fuck with it later. I wouldn't worry about trying to cram it into your already obviously very occupied schedule for now, but I do think it's a game you should experience. And I don't think there's a time limit on that experience.
Okay, so that sounds like a focused individual recommendation. Brian, I think that you, Brian, should play Death Stranding. This is not a generic writ large people should play Death Stranding.
No, this is not a people should play it. This is a Brian would enjoy Death Stranding. For similar and also very different reasons that Tegan is enjoying Death Stranding. Even though Tegan's not actively playing Death Stranding because it's got giant zombie dead monsters in it, and I don't fuck with that. That's not my brand.
From what I understand, your brand, though, is wandering fake England and capturing monsters and then making them fight other monsters for your amusement?
That is my brand. I got 3 hours of sleep. I got 3 hours of sleep. I was having so much fun. So, I picked up Pokemon Shield. Alex and I picked up the double pack, technically, but he has been busy playing Death Stranding, so he hasn't gotten to play Pokemon Sword, which is fine, because I'm playing Pokemon Shield, and I'm having a fucking blast. Right before Sword and Shield came out, there were a bunch of very negative reviews, and a whole, angry gamer backlash on the internet, which, I get. Could it have used a little bit longer in the oven? Maybe. But this is also the most fun I've had with a Pokemon game since probably, Heart Gold and Soul Silver came out. So, I'm not mad. I'm mad, but I'm not mad. Scorbunny's my son, and he's good and perky, and I love him. And right now, he's evolved into something called a Raboot. He's having a Naruto phase. And he's a little grumpy now, but that's okay, because I'm sure it's just a phase, Mom. And, I understand, so, I'll take him to anime conventions, and, I'll buy him the jacket and stuff, but, Chester evolved. I know everyone cares about that. Chester's my thing. It's called a bug blip. Bug blip? I think it's a bug blip. God, I fucking hope it is. He looked like a Chester. He's got a little bow tie sort of thing. He looked like a tiny bookworm. Wow, what a dork. So he's evolved into something called a Doppler, which looks like kind of like a greenhouse, but where all the little faceted junctions are, there's dots, kind of like a ladybug, but not, and the dots light up, and I don't know if it evolves again. I haven't found out, and I'm not looking, because I'm having fun. I got a fox thing called a Nickit that I renamed Red, like Crazy
Mine's
Red?
also named Red.
Yeah, like Crazy Red, right?
Actually, Red's apple
Yeah.
ale, because I'm doing a beverage thing.
Oh, okay. I named mine Red because Crazy Red, because you remind me of Crazy Red.
From Animal Crossing, yeah.
Yeah, he's the fox character, and he runs a black market. And the fox is a dark type, so it works. He's really cool. I have a lot of dark types. I'm surprised how many dark types I have.
There's a lot more dark types at the beginning.
There's a lot of dark types at the beginning. But I did my first 2 gym battles. They were great. There's a crowd, and they cheer for you when you land a really good hit. There's a roar and stuff, and if you take a really big hit, they all go ooh, and you're just oh god, it feels so good. This is what Pokemon battles are supposed to be like. This is how they feel.
Yeah.
You know?
The stadium aesthetic is a really good idea that they haven't been using for a long time.
Yeah.
But it's cool that it's here now.
And the Dynamax stuff is, I haven't fucked with it yet. I haven't needed to.
It seems fine, but it doesn't feel necessary.
It feels optional. It feels like something that the gym leaders do as a show of power sort of thing. So far, they've always Dynamaxed their last Pokemon, so maybe that'll change. Who knows? Maybe not. Who knows? But it feels more like an aesthetic thing for the region than something that I have to implement in my battles so far. So that's cool. I need to figure out how to change my uniform, though.
You can't.
I can't?
No.
Then why are they giving me uniforms?
Yeah, so the uniforms just work like normal clothes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to run around in the water uniform, you can do that in the streets. But
that's
for your
cool.
gym challenges, you have to wear the story uniform.
All right. That's fair. You get to pick your own number. Brian, you get to pick your jersey number.
Oh, well.
That's cool.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I know Brian's fronting on it, but, like, when they told me to pick my jersey number, I was both, like, completely surprised and, like, crazy overwhelmed at once. I was like, whoa, wait, hold on. This is, like, really important.
Yeah, because it's going to be there the entire time.
Yeah.
It's on your, like, trader card and shit. Like, it's a big deal.
Like, I just want you guys to know that somewhere in Nintendo where they're able to look at data mined from the game, which is sent, back to the mothership.
Of course.
They see, like, okay, it looks like a full 40% of people set this jersey number to 69, and then that guy sighs deeply, goes to the top of the parking garage, and hurls himself off.
Bold of you to assume there's a parking garage.
Nintendo probably has enough money for a parking garage, right?
You could just do it off the top of the building, though.
Yeah, but, then that's going to, impede traffic. You got to go for the garage.
It's still going to impede traffic. And your family will still have to pay the fees to clean up your body, so.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Maybe don't do that.
Maybe don't set your jersey to 69, people.
I meant maybe don't hurry yourself off the top of a parking garage, but whatever, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, you do you. I set my jersey number to 7 because there are 6 Pokemon on my team, and I'm number 7. We're all friends.
Mine's 343 for, like, almost entirely nerd reasons.
And Brian's not playing, which is fine.
Brian's not playing because Brian has got his, for the first time in a while, really, has his hands full with multiple video games. But we'll get to that when we get to that.
Brian is a very busy man. I'm having a blast. I was really worried, and I'm having an absolute blast. The partner introduction for the Pokemon thing is really cute. Like, normally they're just like, here's your starters, pick one. But, like, there's a whole, like, little cutscene where they, like, run around and interact with each other so you can get a feel for, like, the personalities of the Pokemon and stuff. It's really cute.
This feels like the first time that the Pokemon release has kind of, like, forced some Pokemon players to reconcile themselves to the reality that the Pokemon media cycle mirrors that of the release of, like, annualized sports franchises.
Mm-hmm.
I will now perform for you a reenactment of a Pokemon review. This game is total shit. They broke everything, and it's the worst Pokemon game of all time, and I fucking hate it, and I'm cutting my eyes out with spoons. 8.
8.
Yes. This is the best Pokemon game of all time. I say so because it is the Pokemon game that I am currently playing, and I am happy. Pokemon games appear to operate on this, like, super miniaturized review scale of, like, 8 to 10, and everything else is the forbidden numbers, and people only engage in hyperbole, where the game can only be the worst game of all time, or the best game of all time, and that so many people seem to, like, operate from this position of capitalist fealty, where people are like, they haven't really said anything about this particular game that makes me want it, and I don't even have a Switch yet, but fuck, I guess I have to buy it. Like, the volume of posts on Twitter by people who are like, shit, I don't really have the money right now, but I guess I have to get a Switch. I wish the game looked better. And I'm like, fuckers, like, if you don't want the game, then don't buy it. Like,
but that's not the truth. Like, they do want the game. Pokemon is still a good video game, and Sword and Shield isn't an exception, but there are better iterations of Pokemon on these, like, weird minor details that make the difference between, like, 8.5 to 10. Like, everyone wishes that Sword and Shield was, like, Heart Gold on consoles, but, like, it's not. It's another Pokemon game. It's closer to, like, early Johto regions or, like, Kanto 1. And people that, like, jump in for, like, the wave of Pokemon are going to have a good time because it's still a Pokemon game, and Pokemon games are generally good, but they're not going to get 300, 400 hours out of it because there's no national dex, which is what those people are angry about. Like, they're not angry that, like, Pokemon's a bad game now. They're angry.
But, like, I guess the first thing I want to point out, Rocky, is that your initial response is to tell these people how they're feeling. When people say that, like, they don't want it in public, but then say they're going to buy it anyway, your response is to say, well, no, you don't actually feel the way you're saying.
No.
Well, if you really say you don't want it, you're not going to buy it. Like, if you really don't want it, no one is forcing you to buy it.
Right. Like, no one's twisting your arm about Pokemon. Like, you want to play Pokemon, that's cool. This isn't the best Pokemon ever, and you're mad about it. that's fine. Like, go ahead.
So
Be mad.
you do not think that the idea of like brand fealty exists, and you do not think that people buy products out of a sense of obligation to corporations?
Okay, so now you're telling me how I feel. Like, I don't think people have this obligation.
No, Rocky, I'm not fucking telling you how you feel.
He's asking if that is how you feel.
You know what? Never mind. What else we got?
That's what it sounds like.
Okay.
Brian, we don't understand. You have to make it stupid simple for us.
No, so Rocky, I'm not telling you how you feel. I'm asking if a concept exists.
Sure, brand fealty exists. People buy things out of obligations to corporations.
Right, and so what I'm saying is if that concept exists, if we acknowledge that that is a concept which is real, then isn't it possible that there is some percentage of people who, when they say, I don't want this game, I'm buying this game, that what they're doing is buying it out of a sense of brand fealty?
Sure, but what I'm saying is the number of people that exist in those conditions are a lot smaller than you're making them sound.
I'm not saying that they're a meaningful percentage of the population. I'm just simply saying that they exist.
Okay, well, if they're not a meaningful part of the population,
you know what?
Are we
Fuck
talking
it.
about
like,
them?
what else we got? Like, I'm just saying that, like, it feels like conversations around Pokemon come down to defenses of Nintendo. That, like, okay, it may not be the best Pokemon game of all time, but, like, it's still a good Pokemon game, and any concerns that people have had about it publicly are just not really important. I mean, it's fine.
No, I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying Pokemon games still do well because they're still good video games. And there are better versions, better iterations of Pokemon that have existed over the 20 years that it's been around. And sure, there are people that will buy Pokemon because they have a fear of missing out of whatever's going on in Pokemon. And there are definitely people that will buy into Pokemon in the hopes that Pokemon will be better in the future. However, Pokemon continues to do well consistently because Pokemon as a product is still reliable enough as a video game experience that people continue to play it. And there are people like IGN, for example, that inflate review numbers for their own purposes. And there are definitely people who are afraid to step to Pokemon Company and whoever has the property and whatever they're making about it in fear of retaliation from its fans or otherwise. But by and large, Pokemon, Game Freak, and the iterations of the property are held at a certain quality that still make it good, even if there are things to complain about.
So, there are certain media properties that have such a large, at this point, generational fan base that there is a level of momentum to their profitability on any given iteration or any given product. I think that a couple years ago, you couldn't find a thing that was more universally disliked in the world of video games than Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right, sure.
People straight up fucking hated that game.
And then Fallout 76 came out.
Well, the difference between Fallout 76 and Star Wars Battlefront 2 is that Star Wars Battlefront 2 was a Star Wars product, which means that even though the game was disliked intensely and representative of so many things people disliked, and people are it's rough around the edges, it's not even graphically great, it's full of insistent microtransactions, the game still sold 12.5 million copies in its first 6 months of release.
Mm-hmm.
There are not many media franchises out there that can sell 12.5 million copies, let alone sell 12.5 million copies when all the press that the game has is bad. And that has to do with the fact that there is a certain baseline momentum that exists to Star Wars. There are people who are like, well, I'm a Star Wars, I'm also a video game, so therefore I must buy the Star Wars video game. And that's as far as they get. And then they just hope that it's good as they drive home from the GameStop. I just think that Pokemon has reached that threshold. Now, whether or not Pokemon Sword and Shield themselves, individually in this particular iteration, are like good, great, or okay video games is immaterial to my point here. My point is that there are people who buy this game because they can't remember a time, sincerely, in their life when Pokemon wasn't part of their life. Like, Pokemon has always been part of their existence. Like, I am old enough that I do not always remember Pokemon being a thing which was part of, like, my video game diet. Like, in fact, like, I'm old enough that, like, I remember Pokemon being a thing that kids did, and that I was not a kid. Like, oh, okay, so, you know, Nintendo hasn't killed the Game Boy and they put this shit on it? Okay, that's cool. But there are people who were kids, you know, like when Red and Blue came out.
Me!
Also me.
Yeah. But, like, as pretty much as far back as memory stretches for you guys, Pokemon's part of it.
I had a Venusaur, and it was cool.
And Pokemon is, at this point, like a transmedia franchise. Pokemon is cartoons. Pokemon is playing cards. Pokemon is comics. Pokemon is a movie. Pokemon is actually several movies. Like, Pokemon is a thing that, like, pervades just about every part of, like, your media consumption life. And also, because of the multiplayer hooks, allows for itself to be a social experience as well. So, Pokemon has a lot of the hooks that, say, something like Star Wars has, but also because of the multiplayer that has gone back in the game to the very beginning, has a lot of the same hooks that, like, say, something like Madden has. So if you take something which has all of the lure and allure of Star Wars and all the lure and allure of FIFA, and you roll them into one thing, then there are certainly going to be people, especially if it's been part of their entire remembered life, going, man, some of my best memories, period, are of Pokemon. I'm going to buy this thing. It has nothing to do with, like, you know, what their perception is even of, like, the media coverage of this particular title. Because some of those people probably haven't even read any of the media coverage of this title, because the only video games that they connect with are Pokemon games whenever they happen to come out. You know, like, these are not the kind of people who are, like, say, like, sitting on US Gamer or Polygon reading the coverage. They're just like, oh, new Pokemon game. I guess it's time to go out and buy the console because this is the first new Pokemon game for it. I don't think that that's a percentage of the population that should be undervalued. Now, I do think that there is a larger population, which is a different one, which are the people who are engaging in, like, Metacritic hyperbole. The people who are probably in reality perfectly happy with the game, but there's no national dex. And so they're acting as if someone, like, say, destroyed all the penicillin in the world or something. Like, those people are kind of weirdos. The fact that the average user score for Pokemon Sword on Metacritic is 3.8. And if you look at it, it's because of, like, an overwhelming number of negative user reviews which cite the reuse of graphical assets and the lack of a national dex. The reuse of graphical assets is a horseshit complaint because we know that this was rebuilt from the ground up with entirely new assets for the Switch. So even, like, reappearing Pokemon are new assets. They did not, like, say, go use an old Pikachu. It's a new Pikachu. But there's just something about this game which has set those people off. And I do think it's two different populations. I think that the hyperbole population is different. The people who are the obligated population, if that makes any sense. And I also think that there's a third population, which are people who will not brook any kind of, like, serious critical conversation of the game, and they won't really want to talk about what's good and bad about the game because it is Game Freak, because it is Pokemon, because it is Nintendo. And so, like, they're like, well, you know, I mean, it's a new Pokemon game, and so therefore it is the best game ever. Pokemon is a very hard franchise to have a serious critical conversation about.
I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think it's really difficult to talk about what's good and bad about Pokemon. I know that there are people that are unwilling to talk about what's good and bad about it for both of those populations' reasons, but I don't think the task itself is difficult.
Okay. I mean, I'll accept that. I guess what makes it hard is that, like, critical conversation generally requires a large enough population engaging in it in order for it to be meaningful. It requires like a diet of critics sharing their impressions, sharing their thoughts, and then like a internet population engaging with those critics in thoughtful and helpful ways. Sometimes that happens, and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that like, if you have a critic acting in good faith, there's probably not a large enough population out there to, I guess, account for it or make that, what they're saying worth it. Because it seems like anybody out there who publishes a well-intentioned review of Pokemon is like, okay, here's what I thought about this game. There's some Pokemon reactionary force showing up and pushing back on the critic and talking about how they're a trash bag and how their review is wrong and how they're a bad person. Whether they liked the game or didn't, or had impressions that fell somewhere in the middle. I don't know. I think that this is probably a thing where we're not going to reach a point of agreement, and I don't think that there's probably a point in trying to reach one. I am glad y'all are having fun.
Thanks. I'm having a lot of fun.
I'm also having fun.
Fantastic.
I'm having a lot more fun than I had with the last couple games.
Yeah, I don't think Sun and Moon were their best shot at it.
Yeah. I also, though, would not be mad if Niantic and Game Freak and the Pokemon Company and Nintendo and if they decided to let the next Pokemon game sit in the oven a little longer. I know the yearly cycle is really important for the trade card game and the merch, which are like where the big money is for Pokemon, but it would really be okay if they let it sit in the oven a little longer and we didn't get a brand new Pokemon game next year.
I don't think we will, really. I mean, I think they'll do like the triad or whatever. Like, I don't think they'll do a double again.
Mm-hmm.
The way that like the wild area is set up, which is like the online area where like other trainers are running around and you can do raids and whatnot, I think it's designed to naturally expand, which is also why I'm not super mad about the national decks. It's not that I'm like actively hopeful, but the way that I see it is that if they wanted to put more Pokemon into this game, a very easy way to do it for them would be, oh, by the way, the wild area has these Pokemon spawning now, and now they're just like available.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they could like drip feed, which is also something that pisses off the national dexers or whatever, which is fine because like a lot of those people, they just rip through the story in like 4 hours and then like spend the rest of their time power leveling and breeding, which is okay. Like, they paid for the game, they can play it however they want, but the fact that like it's gonna cap out because everything's a lot easier to do seems like a bullet point that is more positive than negative in my opinion.
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon made a lot of money.
They did. Yes.
And I have to wonder, with the annualized models, if the Pokemon Company will ever go back to the triad model. If we were to kind of like say that like what you have is like a full release and then like an intermission year, kind of like your red, blue followed by yellow, like if we'll ever go back to the intermission year or the off year being like a single title, because there are so many Pokemon consumers who, when it's an on year, when the game is coming out and it's 2 titles, buy both titles. They're like, okay, it's Sword and Shield. I'm buying Sword and Shield. And there was a meaningful percentage of the customers who bought Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon who bought Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
Right.
And so, like, if you're the Pokemon Company, you're sitting around, you're like, so what we could do is we could have a giant pile of cash, or we could have a larger giant pile of cash from having our off-year releases be duo releases. I wonder if the off-year release will ever go back to being, like a single iteration, like a single title.
I mean, it's a possibility. The off-year releases, whether it's 1 or 2 games, it's obviously them taking a bigger pile of money. But in terms of, like, development, from what I understand, which, isn't a lot, the games themselves basically just mirror each other. They just cut the Pokedex in half and change a couple of cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't typically cut the Pokedex in half. They give 10 or 12 specifics to each Pokemon,
right,
to each version. Most of the Pokemon are the same, because that's how species work in real life.
So if they do like a double release and they have like 10, 12 exclusives between each game, from my perspective, materially it doesn't change like the gameplay experience. But if the Pokemon Company / Game Freak want to take more money for that, like more power to them, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change like the development scale that much because they're essentially making like Pokemon, and then like they're saying these will be in this version, these will be in this version, and then they ship 2 carts, but they're essentially creating one game. At least that's the way that I have always understood it. And I might be wrong, but if they did that, like, and they made their off-year release just like 2 carts, I'm not sure if it would take that much more time. It obviously costs more resources in terms of like production and like distribution, etc. But in terms of development, I'm not sure if it costs that much more time for them to split it into 2 games.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, Rocky. If the development overhead is low enough, it might offset any like manufacturing additional cost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sure. If you have to create 2 SKUs and you have to, manage the shipping infrastructure for 2 different products, and now you have to create a stupid fucking steel book that holds these 2. If you're spending a low enough amount on the development for those because the changes are superficial enough that we have to dump a bunch of development resources into it, then it might not matter that there's an increased manufacturing cost from there being 2 different ones.
And obviously, like, whatever Sword and Shield Plus end up being will fit into, like, the current Sword and Shield, like, infrastructure. Like, they'll add, like, additional features that people will probably still want to buy or whatever. But if they just, like, turn out to, like, expand the Pokedex and just, like, update stuff, they could slowly, like, stretch out new features over time and, like, possibly invest more time in building a new, more robust, like, Pokemon experience. Because I know they've been really reluctant to go back to console Pokemon, and they're in a unique position with the Switch that, like, Pokemon can still be a portable experience, but also be played, like, on a TV.
Right.
And it's because, like, they bet so heavily on the social aspects of Pokemon, even if they've become less and less reliant on, like, in-person interaction over, like, the past decade and a half.
Mm-hmm.
The success of Pokemon Sword, Pokemon Shield may encourage them to take bigger risks in the future to make a more robust game or put in all the features, or even like some of the pettier things that like Pokemon fans really care about, like having a Pokemon follow you around if it's in your first slot. That like may be a hassle to code. I have no idea, but like it's definitely a cool thing. It makes me happy as a player.
I'm interested in the future of that franchise. Like one of the things I think kind of got glossed over in a lot of the early discourse around this game was the addition of battles that look a lot like traditional MMO raid battles.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of like looks like that was the Pokemon Company's effort to kind of herd the player base in a particular type of direction as far as like how they interact with the game, and trying to make the game more social again in a bigger way. And I think it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out in a couple months when there's like less writing about the game, which is hyperbole and hair pulling.
Yeah.
What these social hooks are doing later on.
Actually, I'm pretty hopeful for like this whole Pokemon camping mechanic.
Yeah.
Like I know the raid battles are definitely a deal, and they're going to be things for like people to do in order to get like different Pokemon and get like certain items. Like you get TMs from these shits for some reason. That's kind of sick. But Pokemon camps, how you can just like set up a tent on the overworld, and then like people can like hang out and with your Pokemon, and like people who are just trying to like finish like curry encyclopedias or whatever will probably get a lot of mileage out of it. I don't know. I'm looking forward to messing around with it in the near future.
So something I think is also a social hook that people might not have considered in this game is that I don't think it's a coincidence that the Pokemon game, where the player is given the most agency they've ever had over their individual trainer's appearance, is the game for a console which has integrated Twitter and Facebook sharing. Somebody posting to their Twitter, "Look at my trainer, she's so cute," is definitely a social experience.
Yeah.
Look at my trainer, she is so cute. Have you seen her? She's fucking great.
I actually liked her boots.
Right. Like that's absolutely real. And I think we're going to see a lot of that business. Animal Crossing is coming, y'all.
One of the things I'm actually really astonished by is that in both Pokemon and Animal Crossing, you're able to customize your character, but, like, there are a lot of details that, like, they just won't let you touch. Like, they're not going to let you, like, create, like, a certain face, like, as opposed to other character creators, or, like, really make a lot of defining characteristics. And, like, your pool of, like, outfits and stuff is, like, limited, but like that's more expressive, but like less identifiable. It could just be, a design choice. Like we don't want to put too much effort in this because it costs too much, or it's difficult, or like it's cumbersome, or whatever. But I actually like the idea with that integration, creating ultimately like not super identifiable characters in a game that's marketed to children, but also linked in with social media functionality. I'm not sure if that's an intentional choice, but I think that may be a good way to go about it.
Tegan, you had a bullet point here that you have removed about a song called Giants.
By True Damage.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a new league group. Ari is also, or not Ari.
Akali?
Akali's in it. Yeah, Akali's in both the league groups now, and I'm a little annoyed, but like whatever. Her singer's worth it, honestly, so like I'm just gonna like keep that bitterness inside me and eat it because her vocalist is good, and like I can't be mad about that. So
I was kind of low-key mad because like when I first saw the Akali in the True Damage video, I thought it was Riven.
Oh, that would have been good.
Yeah, but like I don't know, I guess Akali sells more skins or whatever, who cares?
Echo's first verse was better than his second by like leaps and bounds, and I am mad about that.
Same.
I'm actually mad about that.
I do like Echo's look though in the video though. That shit.
Oh yeah, no, the look is great. The look is great, and the way he's animated is amazing. But like his first verse fucking knocked me on the floor, and then the second one it was just like, oh,
yeah, this is still happening. Okay, yeah.
Tegan, pretend for a moment.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about metallurgy, engineering, or physics. And just tell me what the hell is going on.
Okay. So the League of Legends last year made a pop star group called KDA, right? And it was all K-pop, and it was so the KDA in League is kills, deaths, and assists, and it's like how you're scored basically as like a player. Your mid laner should have more kills, your support should have a lot of assists, like that kind of stuff. So this new group is called True Damage, which is a kind of damage that isn't based on your magic or like your health or anything like that. It's just straight damage, and you just do this amount of damage no matter what, unless someone has something that negates, that like gives them resistance to the True Damage. The True Damage group is made up of different characters from the League of Legends franchise. So KDA had Ari, who's a nine-tailed fox. Oh god. A bunch of people, two people I don't know.
Akali, Kai'Sa, Evelynn, and...
Yeah, Kai'Sa, Evelynn, and Akali. Yeah, this is just the four of them.
Yeah, it is four. You're right.
Just the four. So in the new group, in True Damage, it's...
It's Echo, Kiana, Akali, and Yasuo is the producer.
And someone else.
Oh, really? There's a fifth one?
Yeah, it's Akali, Echo, Kiana, Senna, and Yasuo.
That's right, because Senna's new. Fuck.
Senna's new. Senna is one of the other's characters' dead wives. So, that's neat. I think this is a neat way to introduce her, and I think it's a neat way to give her a really fucking cool skin. So Akali's in both of them, which is a little like, but her vocalist is really good, so like, can't be mad about it. Yasuo's character doesn't say anything because he's got like a mask on. He's like their DJ or whatever.
Also, everyone hates Yasuo. They don't want him to rap.
Yeah, nobody wants Yasuo to rap. So like your main vocalist is Echo. He has one really, really good verse and one verse. Akali raps almost entirely in Korean. And then Kiana and Senna both have like more lyrical parts that are both very good and very powerful in different ways. And I'm mad that League continues to produce additional content that I enjoy while having a game that I can't stand.
This is hilarious, because when this was in the show doc, I watched the video in advance of our recording, much like I clicked on the link to the hellscape that was the Kojima name generator. And I watched this here Giants video, and I was like, oh, this is catchy and pleasant. I never even considered the fact that those were fucking League of Legends characters.
Yeah.
They are not just League of Legends characters, those are also skins you can buy.
Yeah,
spend money on those things. They come with special animatics and chroma versions. Ooh.
Nice.
But yeah, they look fucking cool.
They do look cool.
Champagne Fresca didn't kill me, capitalism did. I also watched the opening ceremony performance of Giants, which featured a bunch of assholes on a stage with holograms.
Yep, they did the same thing for KDA because they had holograms for the game characters there. And it looked cool. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they'd be in cosplay, but they weren't. They were there instead, and that was neat. As someone who, actually invested a lot of money and went to the fucking Hatsune Miku concert, that gave me emotions. That gave me a lot of different emotions, but, wow.
Man. Goodness! Well, Tegan, I will leave this up to you.
Yeah!
There was another bullet point you had.
I'll give you the short version. So when I quit my job at GameStop, they didn't remove me from the system correctly. They just removed me from the store, so now I'm existing as an island, a sole GameStop employee floating in the abyss. Which means I still get my discounts and my free GPGs, but no one can actually put me in a system to schedule me or have me run a register. So, I just hang out, I guess, and get my discount. Which isn't that great, but whatever. It's better than nothing, I guess, and I still get free gameplay guarantees, so... But, my old manager is supposed to be talking to the district manager who failed to remove me correctly, because I had applied to work at his store, once a month, not a ton, just to, hang out and, not be taken advantage of and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because they didn't remove me from the system correctly, by not removing me actually, I came in as a transfer request, and so she had the store leader at my current store decline it, even though I had assumed I'd been removed from the system, and so filled it out as though I were an external applicant. So I don't know what they want me to do exactly. And he was supposed to talk to her the other day, so, I'm sure I'll find out eventually, but...
That sucks.
The amount of shenanigans for me trying to do anything at the store and now just me trying to leave astound me in new ways every day. And I think that's, the nicest way to say that.
We will accept the nicest way.
I think it works.
Okay. It's just an ongoing saga. And in response, I spent $100 on t-shirts yesterday. Yay! I can do that now because I can wear hoodies and jeans at my new job and I can just chill, so...
I miss that life.
That's what I'm doing! What, do you have to wear, nice pants and stuff?
Yeah, I have to do business, casual every day now. I can wear jeans on Fridays. I'm back to jeans on Fridays. Fuck. Whatever. It's fine.
Business casual isn't so bad.
It's not bad. It's just I haven't done it for a while, and it's uncomfortable.
Gotcha. I have a pretty large business casual wardrobe that's, fairly comfortable. But, the ideal piece of clothing is a large pullover hoodie, and most places that allow business casual only allow, zip-ups, sport zip-ups. So, it's gotta be, a North Face or something, but, that's okay.
Yeah.
I get to wear a large pullover hoodie, and I only have 2 of them now, and they're both from college, so they both just say, my college on them.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best. It's so good. I wear different clothes every day, and no one fucking knows, because I'm wearing a hoodie. Just like high school. It's great. So, Brian, will you tell us about all of your games before you decide that we've spent too long on the show and you don't want to talk about your games anymore? Because that's happened on a couple occasions.
It has.
Well, the first thing I want to do here is dig into these here rocky bullet points, because I see things about Yuppie Psycho and Sonic the Hedgehog, because I've got feelings on that Sonic the Hedgehog thing. So what's going on?
Okay. Yuppie Psycho. The witch has been dealt with. Long live the witch. There's definitely some weird stuff going on, you know, some black market children abduction, stuff like that. Whatever, it's cool. It was an interesting game to walk around and explore with the level of technology that it went with. I mean, if this was like a 3D game, a lot of the decisions that they made would have been just like simply unacceptable. But I think the fact that it was like a top-down 16-bit game, they made a lot of really good, interesting choices. It's a good little game, I guess is what I want to say.
Okay.
I think its spooks were adequately delivered.
Mm-hmm.
It shows its moments carefully. I think there's like one jump scare in it, in like the whole thing. Everything else is just like creepy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like woven almost perfectly to like the experience of like working in an office. Like, you know, it has like that kind of Stepford Wives like weirdness where like you're an outsider and there's a way that these things already work even if they don't really work. You being on the outside looking in is just like, hey, like, should stuff really be like this? And everyone's just cool with it. And it's like, no, but I definitely saw like a couple dead bodies hanging in this one closet. Like, should we be concerned about that? Like, nah, it's fine. The hall monitor will take care of that. The hall monitor is just some horrifying monster with like a filing cabinet like strapped to its back for some reason. You know, a bunch of weird stuff like that. It's cool. The puzzles were adequately interesting. The soundtrack was actually phenomenal. Legit incredible. There were a couple costume changes that were fun. The secrets that the game has you explore. The way that like they present certain things from you that definitely look like things that have something deeper. The closed doors that eventually open up the world in different ways is also really fun. I suggest that people play this game. It's a small, like, $20 Steam experience. I still am, like, just heartbroken that it's not on Switch. And devs haven't said much about it. There's still, like, room for, like, extra content, because there are actually some spaces that you just straight up don't get to explore that you can tell that they were planning to. So hopefully it, like, gets, like, additionally patched in the future.
So when is the Switch release?
It's not. That's the thing. Like, it was supposed to be a simultaneous release on April 25th. April 25th came and went. It came out on Steam. They never talked about the Switch version ever again.
All right. So, did you fuck with Count Lucanor?
I am interested in messing with Count Lucanor, but I never played it.
Okay. So, like, Count Lucanor was pretty good, but the staggered release between when Lucanor came out on PC and then Lucanor came out on PS4 and then Lucanor eventually came out on Switch was like pretty long in between each iteration, upwards of a year.
Sure.
So like I wouldn't count this out yet. I get the impression that this is probably more of a budget consideration than anything.
Probably.
Like in order to have that Steam release out in April, they had to, you know, move other platforms to the back burner as far as development goes.
That's likely true. The only reason why I'm saying it's not is because it's not like no one's asked them about it. There are definitely people that have reached out to the developers and asked them about the Switch release. And, you know, some have definitely been antagonistic.
Mm-hmm.
But there are definitely instances where people are just, like, legitimately interested or even, like, excited to play it on Switch. And the answer is no comment. Like, this just all it is. And so, like, it may be happening, but there's no clue when. And it's probably not something to focus your attention on.
I wonder why it's no comment.
Same. I'd love to have them on if they want to talk. That could be cool.
There was a game that came out on Switch a couple months ago, and it was kind of like a first-person adventure game where you're kind of like wandering through like this kind of like very, very horny hellscape. And it was like up on the Nintendo eShop for like upwards of a week.
Mm.
And then it got pulled down, not even because it was an incredibly horny hellscape, but apparently because the game was just like fundamentally broken and there was no way for a user to not encounter like a game-breaking bug and things like that. There have been a couple games which have been pulled from the eShop allegedly over the last several months for issues with like stability of the game. But these games which all got pulled for like stability all had like, I don't say mature themes. I don't mean it in that like very generic kind of way where you're just describing anything which might be like an M-rated game.
Generically violent or whatnot, yeah. Real
deal M-rated shit. And I'm wondering if like Nintendo has tightened up approvals like heading into Q4, you know, when people are be like setting up Switches for their kids on Christmas morning.
It wouldn't be completely unheard of. Is that one, like, it's not a game. It's like an experience where, like, there's, like, some model that's, like, selling, like, cell phone conversations that are, like, scripted or whatever for, like, $1. Is that still in the eShop?
I have not heard anything about it getting pulled down. I'm on Baroque Decay's Twitter now, and, like, yeah, they are pretty buttoned up. Mm-hmm. They're not really talking.
It's possible that maybe they got rejected for themes or something, because, like, it does look like a standard, like, 16-bit, like, game, but it is pretty, like, gratuitous with, like, its gore and violence. It's not, like, incredible. It's not, like, Doom or anything, but it's a lot considering what the game actually is. Like, considering, like, how little combat actually, like, occurs in the game, there's, like, a lot of, like, violent scenes and whatnot.
Yeah. But I guess this seems like a perfect excuse for my ass to fish out my GPD win again, because this does look like a perfect handheld game.
It does. Actually looks perfect for handheld. In fact, like, the whole time I was doing, like, WASDs or whatever, and, like, the interact key is, like, the letter E, which is just so weird in that space. And if it was just an A button, it would have been astronomically easier to play.
And it looks like it has default full controller support.
Mm-hmm.
And this definitely runs on the Win 2. Okay. All right. This looks like a good... I got me a plan.
If you got some time, fuck with it, Brian. That's all I'm saying.
I just love this art. God.
So it's 16-bit most of the way, but there are also, like, these weird anime-ish, like, pixel cutscenes that they do.
I'm looking at one of those right now, and it is just the most fucking gorgeous thing.
And they're good, man. Bruh, I'm telling you, you're gonna like it. It's a good game.
Rocky, have you fucked it all with Hypnospace Outlaw?
I haven't, but it's on my list of shit to do.
So something else I have fucked with in the last couple of weeks is Hypnospace Outlaw. Because it was something I wanted to try and spend some time with before the end of the year. Because I was really, really charmed by the idea of a couple different things that Hypnospace Outlaw was doing. One was the idea of navigating the web from a risk management perspective. Like, the idea is that, like, you're carefully combing the web looking for, like, evidence of violations.
Right, because you're like a mod, like, on a particular, like, forum or something.
Right, and so you're trying to, like, gather the evidence and the clues and follow the breadcrumbs to find, like, evidence of violations, so that way you can enforce because you are an enforcer. And it's also, like, weirdly a period piece.
Mm-hmm. About, like, the early, like, 90s or whatnot.
Right.
Or late 90s,
It's more like mid-90s, but it's got that, like, very strong, like, 94 to, like, 96 early Internet Explorer plus AOL, like, vibe.
Yeah.
It's, like, spot fucking on. Like, there's definitely stuff that, like, looks like Angel Fire pages and some of that, like, barfed up CompuServe shit. There's some really good FMV in it and stuff that just looks like the fucking lawnmower man up your ass. Like, man, it's a lot of fun. And I remember when I started fucking with it, like, something I thought was like, this feels like a good double feature with Yuppie Psycho. And there was nothing that really, like, made that make sense in my head. Like, I couldn't justify that feeling.
It's that space. Like, Yuppie Psycho, like, the events that occur.
Right.
Could have been the Office Space video game if it wasn't, like, a horror game also.
Right.
It definitely hits that era. Like, you're fucking with photocopiers. It's important that everyone knows how to use the coffee maker. Like, you're using this, like, weird boxy computer to access the company network and shit, and everything's green and black. Yeah, no, I get you.
Okay.
I totally understand.
And I enjoyed playing Hypnospace Outlaw on the Win as well. It was, like, something else that I was able to, like, do on my lunch at work. And it just feels like, oh, man, like, all right, I got to get on this Yuppie Cycle. I enjoyed Count Lucanor, so, like, I need to get on this. I need to get on this. That is, if I can tear myself away from Grindstone, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Nah, tell me about Grindstone. What's going on?
Okay. Rocky, you wanted to talk a little about Sonic the Hedgehog, and I've got feelings on Sonic, so I want to make sure we get to that.
No, I'm not skipping them. Like, I'm just being a little bit more free-flowing with it.
So, I bought an Apple TV 4K for a couple different reasons. Apple Arcade has a enforced rule for developers that if you're going to be on Apple Arcade, you need to have 3 different versions of your title available. There needs to be a version available for phones, a version available for Mac, and a version available for Apple TV. And games universally support cross-save support across all those different versions. So if you're playing a game on your Mac and then you go sit down in front of your Apple TV, it'll just pull your save from your Mac version to play there. And the same goes for the phone version. The horsepower on the current version of the Apple TV is really strong. It has more horsepower under the hood than a Switch. And it makes sense that like it's $200 because they're not having to worry about, additional components that like drive up the cost of the unit. Like say putting a large touchscreen LCD on the device or like detachable Bluetooth controllers. Yeah. So Apple has got a couple different deals going on right now. One is that with the purchase of any Apple TV, you get a year of Apple TV Plus for buying the device. And with the purchase of any new Apple device, you can get a year of Apple Arcade. And I'm like, that sounds like a good idea too. And so I wanted to get in there because at this point, like the list of games which is in Arcade is about 120. And about 80% of those 120 games are exclusive to Apple Arcade. Less than 1 in 5 really could be found on other platforms.
That's a pretty significant platform launch.
Yeah, they are really chasing exclusives hard. And so I wanted to start my time with Apple Arcade, like screwing with some exclusives on the platform. And I pulled in a couple other ones which are not exclusives, but are games which are included in the platform. So it's like, oh, this is a game that I was already interested in playing. I can play it here. Examples on that are like NeoCab. Like I had been wanting to play, NeoCab. And so like that I can get it here and then just like play it across a whole bunch of devices is interesting. Like Jenny LeClue, which is like an adventure game. I've been wanting to play Jenny LeClue. So I downloaded that as well. But again, that one's also not an exclusive one. And also Sayonara Wild Hearts.
That is a good video game.
Yeah, and that is included in Apple Arcade. So I wanted to mess with it. And there's some other like cool shit out there. There's a pretty deep variety of stuff going on in Apple Arcade right now. Like there's like a full-on like Souls-like, which has this kind of like very lo-fi kind of like Return of the Obra Dinn look to it. They're just kind of like presenting you like a series of like dioramas that you need to, roll and parry around things. But the stuff that I decided to really like dive into are kind of like scratching some of my preferred genres. I got into Oceanhorn 2 because I enjoyed the first Oceanhorn. Those guys are just like completely and totally without shame making Zelda games. The first Oceanhorn was like, hey guys, what if we make Wind Waker? And it was like, that's cool. And then Oceanhorn 2 is like, hey, what if we make Breath of the Wild? But what's weird is that they kind of missed the mark on making Breath of the Wild. So it feels a lot more like a traditional linear-ass Zelda game that just looks like Breath of the Wild, which is a very, very strange feeling. Like going into dungeons where there's like a specific order of play and it's like, oh, okay, I need to go here to get the key and I need to go here to get the key. And then here's the boss and I'm going to use this item, which I picked up in the last dungeon to defeat this boss. Like very much like feels like the, like the sequence of activities that you would see in like a traditional Zelda game. And it just looks like Breath of the Wild. So it feels funky. But it's also not the biggest attraction that I've experienced, so far, on the platform. The games that I have been able to, like, absolutely not get enough of are first a game called Tint, Tint is a puzzle game. You are presented with a situation where you are given a variety of paints and then various like destination dabs, which are various colors. And you have to reach all of those destination dabs with paint, the color of the destination dab.
Okay.
You might have like a destination dab, which is green. And then you might have two, starting dabs, which are blue and yellow. And so what you would need to do is either start with the blue or the yellow and then run it through the other starting dab to create green. And so like that would be like a very beginning level, like early puzzle where they're just kind of like teaching you the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll like come up with like, increasingly complex situations where you need to worry about like how many different starting dabs do you have? How many different ending dabs do you have? How much space do you have to work in? What happens to the color if you run through your own path later on? If you mix blue into yellow versus yellow into blue, like depending on the order of which one mixed into which one, and how long you run a path of the color before you reach destination, like how intense would that green be? Would it go back to green yellow? Would it go to like green blue? Like that kind of thing. This color mixing game has been like my absolute chill out game. Figuring out like, oh, okay, like how do I create that color? This is pretty cool. It has also been one that
Oh, okay. I'm seeing it. This is neat. That looks real neat.
Yeah. And I've really enjoyed just having my save just travel back and forth, regardless of what platform I'm on. Shit ton of puzzles. The music is really good. The presentation is good. On the first family of puzzles, the destination dabs all look like butterflies. And so like when you reach the destination dab, the butterfly takes off and flies away from the page. And then like each group of puzzles has like a different animated thing at the end of the dab, which like happens when you like successfully complete it. So it's got like that nice, like satisfying feeling. The next game that I've been spending a lot of time with is called Sneaky Sasquatch, which is a game about being a very hungry Sasquatch boy who like lives at like a national park.
Mm-hmm.
And so like at the start of the game, you wake up and you're like a Sasquatch with a rumbly tummy. And very much in like grand video game tradition, a raccoon shows up who tries to convince you to get into some shit. And he's like, hey, I know where you can find some food. Let me show you. And then like there's this like large bear. And this large bear is like, hey, if you have any extra food, I'll buy it from you. You start to like creep into the national park. You encounter a park ranger who like yells at you and he's like, you can't come in here. And so then you like get into the park and you discover that what the game is a few different things. Thing one, the game is a stealth game. You are trying to creep around unseen so that way you can get into campers' picnic baskets and steal food. And you have like a hunger meter and there is a baseline for like how fed you must be. You have to get full. And the actual eating of the food is kind of like a weird coordination game, like QWOP or, Getting Over It with Bennett Foddy. So, like, you steal the food, which is kind of like a precise execution, like stealth game, kind of like Hitman. And then you play the very silly coordination game of, like, eating, like QWOP. And you have to avoid campers. You can't have the campers see you. You can't have the rangers see you. There's a day-night cycle. And then if you have food left over, you can take the food back to the bear, and the bear will buy your leftover food and give you gold. And now the raccoon operates a store inside of a tree. The raccoon sells items which will unlock various parts of the park or allow you to take on like new quest types or do stuff you couldn't do before. Like, for example, like one of the things that the raccoon sells is a set of car keys. And if you buy the car keys from the raccoon, then like any vehicle you find in the park, you can drive, which will like unlock new quest types.
That seems like a safety hazard.
I mean, a Sasquatch driving car? How can this be? Another one of the things you can buy from the raccoon is a set of human clothes. And a set of human clothes will allow you to convince any human who is not the park ranger that you are human, which means that you can now engage in dialogue with the humans, and you could pick up quests from the humans. I am still saving up enough gold for the human outfit. But I did stuff like buy a fishing pole, so I can get additional food that way by going fishing. I've discovered that there's buried treasure throughout the park, so I got a shovel. So like finding locations where stuff is buried. And all of this still needs to be accomplished while sneaking around. So like there's a ton of depth on this game. A variety of different things to do. Like it honestly feels like, what if Hitman and Animal Crossing had a baby? And I can't tell you how happy that makes me. It's a very warm feeling. I love the fact that like I'm playing this stealth game and still putting up with like a shitty raccoon shopkeeper. You know?
Tom Nook is a good
time.
man.
He is a good man.
Your defenses of Tom Nook fall on deaf ears.
Oh, but he is a good man.
The other game that I've been dumping a ton of time into is Grindstone. And I assure you that Grindstone is better than whatever video game you are currently playing.
I don't know.
Grindstone is one of those games that is just like sublime in its simplicity. So you are this Viking dude ascending this mountain, and you are presented a field with monsters on it. You can jump from spot to spot to spot, killing enemies in the same color. So like if you start killing like say blue monsters, then you can jump to the next blue monster if there's an adjacent blue monster and kill it. And jump to a blue monster and kill it. And jump to a blue monster and kill it. Once you kill 10 monsters in a row, then it creates a grindstone, which allows for you to switch colors, which becomes about like, how do I move around the field in such a way that I can ensure that like I'm creating like the largest grindstone possible, which kind of, it's kind of cool. And then they start to introduce like more complicated concepts, like monsters who will attack you if you land beside their position, or monsters who will be able to jump spots, or monsters who can like take your gold from you. And so like, it's kind of like this field-based movement strategy game, which kind of like captures the feelings of like a gym matching game while also feeling like a tactics game. It's like scratching the urge of like, say, playing something like, oh, okay, well, can you give me that feeling that I had playing Mario plus Rabbids, while at the same time also giving me the good feels of like, say, a match 3 game? Answer, you can. With this like field-based puzzle game, and you're just like working your way up this mountain, killing all this stuff. The art style's great, the music's great. It's from Capybara, which does fantastic work, and it's one of the exclusive games on Apple Arcade. I love the look of my little Viking. He's so cute. Sometimes he makes very angry faces when he's waiting to do stuff on the map. It has been a ton of fun, and I have dumped a shit ton of time into this game. I guess other things about the Apple TV Plus or the Apple TV is that, like, I've screwed around with some of the TV shows which are included in the Apple TV Plus service. I've watched The Morning Show, starring Jennifer Aniston, Steve Carell, and Reese Witherspoon. It is about a fictional morning show called The Morning Show, where one of the hosts is fired for being a sexual predator who is outed in a Ronan Farrow-style expose, as played by Steve Carell. And his co-host, played by Jennifer Aniston, is terrified that she'll get fired as well in the crossfire because she is a middle-aged woman and media treats those as disposable. And so she kind of like forces the network into hiring Reese Witherspoon as her co-host in such a way that they won't be able to fire her. And so far, it's had a lot of interesting things to say about like the way media works and like the way broadcast television works and what is broadcast television's space in a world with the internet. The performances have all been very, very good. Billy Crudup has been like especially good. This like network executive in like the most recent episode, there's like a scene where he's like crooning a song from Sweeney Todd to Jennifer Aniston. And it was like especially top shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I've been watching this show called For All Mankind, which is about like what would have happened if the Soviets had reached the moon first, which has been very interesting. It's kind of like about the idea of like an ongoing space race. If the Soviets got to the moon first, then the U.S. would have had political incentive to keep on going, so that way they could be the first at something. So like in the second episode of the series, the Soviets put a woman cosmonaut on the moon. And so because the Soviets have a woman cosmonaut on the moon, the president is insistent that like NASA get a bunch of female astronauts. We need to put a woman in space. Like we need a woman astronaut on the moon as soon as possible because we can't have the Soviets beat us at that. The idea of the space race as like a catalyst for social change is explored in the series. Like there's a whole sequence where there's like people protesting for the passage of the Equal Rights Amendment, and they're carrying signs that say a woman's place is in space.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a story which is going to be told over the course of like several decades. And there's a character that we're following on the show who I think in the story is going to end up being the first human on Mars with where they're going. And she's like a young, undocumented immigrant. She and her father come to the U.S. in like 1969. And there's like this like scene where he buys her a bus ticket to like go watch Apollo 11 take off. And he's like, okay, here's your bus ticket. Now, when you get to Florida and you get near Cape Canaveral, what do? And she's like, I go where everybody else is going. That's right, because everybody's going to be going to the launch. And then when you're done, you use the other ticket and come back. And he only had enough money to buy one bus ticket, but she wants to be an astronaut when she grows up, so she has to go alone. So like he like packs her like a lunch and a dinner to go on her trip to see the launch. And like their story doesn't have any connection to any of their characters right now, but because they've shown that this is going to be a story which is going to be unfolding over multiple decades, you're like, okay, so this character is going to have something to do with this like alternate histories, you know, space race in some way. There's like some good stuff in there about like what would have happened to like Werner von Braun if he had become politically inconvenient, because he was a German scientist who came to the U.S. with the rise of Nazi Germany because he couldn't stand for it. What do you do if you want to change the political direction of NASA? Well, you crucify the guy at the top of NASA, and if that guy is a guy who defected from Nazi Germany, you just try and make it sound like he's a Nazi. Even though, obviously, the only reason he's in the U.S. is because he defected. A lot of interesting writing about gender, a lot of interesting writing about race. They've already done, like, some digging into, like, the Vietnam War. Like, in the most recent episode, there's a guy whose wife is one of the first astronauts, and he's, like, just getting back from Vietnam. And as he's, like, leaving the base, he throws his medals at the guy operating the gate as he leaves the base. He just like refuses to keep his medals. Really dig it. A lot of good performances. Also been watching Dickinson, which is kind of like this modernist telling of the life of Emily Dickinson, starring Haley Steinfeld as Emily Dickinson. It has some like wild shit going on in it. Like John Mulaney is Henry David Thoreau.
Of course he is.
Okay. I'm in. I'm into that.
And Wiz Khalifa as Death.
I do remember that.
He has a cool carriage pulled by spectral horses, and it shows up with Billie Eilish playing. And he tells Emily Dickinson that she can't die yet because she needs to become immortal first. Her dad is played by Toby Huss, who's always cool, and it is a good time. It is a case where the Cartwright house is a house divided, because I'm into that kind of goofy shit where like the presentation of something is like very, very anachronistic. But for Beth, that's very much like rubbing a cat the wrong way. She does not like when, you know, people who are dressed in like fancy period costumes call things the worst and, you know, roll their eyes and go, ah, and like act in like very modernist ways. And unrelated to all this Apple business, which is both like video game and television related, I signed up for Disney Plus, which I think is like everybody else in the world.
Not me.
No, I signed up for Disney Minus.
Neither of you guys signed up for the Disney Plus?
Nope.
So neither of y'all seen The Mandalorian?
No.
I'm out here alone with my Star Wars?
I saw a trailer for it, and I thought it was for the new Star Wars movie, and I asked Alex about it, and he talked to me like I was an idiot, and I was like, hey, I recognized it was a fucking Star Wars, okay? That's like the leap and bound for me. I figured out it was a Star Wars, and I know you like the Star Wars. Like, I tried, okay? I tried.
It is a Star Wars TV,
Yeah, he was like, you mean the Star Wars TV? And I was like, I don't fucking know. It's got a star and a war in it. What do you want?
Looks like it's got that Boba Fett or something, you know.
Yeah, it was a Boba Fett. And the baby, Yoda? Is that what that is?
It's got a baby Yoda in it.
It's a fucking weird cat.
I do not know what you mean by that fucking weird cat.
That's a reference to a meme, Brian.
Is it the cat sitting at the dinner table?
No. It's an ugly cat that's outside. Ma, there's a fucking ugly cat. I don't want it scaring Lucy.
Yeah. Show it to you later.
That's alright.
There's a version of the dinner table cat meme now, which is now my most favorite thing in the world, where that cat is just shouting war games and... Yep.
Right.
Seems valid.
Yep. Exactly. Rocky. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, they put out the new trailer with the new Sonic. It looks good. It looks like a movie I might actually want to watch. They added a little bit more story and background to Sonic as a character because I guess they realized that's what people care about. Jim Carrey's great and all, and like him like being not Robotnik for like 80% of the movie, like I could give two less shits about. I guess I don't know. And James Marsden as like the cop who befriends Sonic the Hedgehog is like definitely marginally important at best. So like they focus on.
Does that mean that Sonic is a cop caller?
No, like Marsden like is responding to like an animal control request when you meet Sonic or something.
So is he cop or he's animal control?
No, he's a cop, but like he's like a rural cop that like kind of wears many hats.
Sonic's a cop caller.
How is Sonic the cop? Why would Sonic call the police? What kind of sense does that make?
I'm just saying, who hangs out with a cop?
He's sitting on a highway and Sonic hits his speed radar or whatever. His speed gun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Right. And so then, like, what happens is when Mr. fucking Body Cam gets him, he's like, I'm going to hang out with this guy? Who hangs out with a cop?
Well, he has no friends. Like, he's from a different dimension.
Rocky, I present you with two choices.
Yes.
I can't believe he abandoned Tails like that. What a fucking dork.
Your two choices are have no friends, befriend a cop.
Damn. God, if I really had to take those two choices, I value friendship more than hating cops.
Also, you could maybe teach that cop.
I don't know about all that. He's still a cop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, ugh. But like, no friends? That sounds dangerous. Just like the human condition. Fuck! Brian, can you do something with that sound, please?
What sound?
So, like, I swear it's your microphone. It has to be your microphone. It, like, farts all the time. And, like, it's been showing up on every recording. I think I talked to you about it, like, a while back. But, like, at that particular moment, that one broke me. That one broke my spirit, Brian.
That was a good one. I think that one should stay in.
I mean,
we don't keep farts on this show.
It's not a fart.
We know it's not a fart. Like, that's just that's how I can explain what that sound sounds like.
It's like a record scratch.
It is like a record scratch. That's actually exactly what it is.
Oh, back to Apple for a second. One of the things which is out right now on Apple Arcade is RPG from Square Enix called Various Daylife. Various Daylife is the new RPG from the Bravely Default team.
So that's the name of their project.
The title of the game is Various Daylife.
Right, yeah, that's what I was referring to.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that is a wild ass title, and I don't know how somebody comes to the conclusion that is a good idea, but I will fuck with it.
Well, I mean, like, all their titles are wild, dude. We have Bravely Default 2, Octopath Traveler, and now Various Daylife. Like, it's on brand. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Let's talk about the Patreon, everybody, which you can visit at patreon.com/Impossible Coin Podcast, where you can get all kinds of goodness from us. We are here for you at various tiers. You can get cool things there like access to our show docs. Also, you have access to each week's podcast as soon as they are available. So last week, the episode went up on Patreon a full day before it was available on other platforms. Very cool. And our various tiers at patreon.com/Impossible Coin Podcast can get you access to shout outs on our podcast for helping out. And to that point, shout outs to Big Sach, shout out to Joe Spiro, and shout out to Sigurd Albrecht, Thank you for supporting the podcast. All these folks are supporting us at patreon.com/Impossible Going Podcast, where you can get thanked on the show at our orange food tier, or you can get additional content from us, including dedicated anime and wrestling podcasts at our Festival Hardbody tier. At the Bonjour tier, which I feel like is in danger of being renamed the Champagne Fresca tier.
That sounds about right, actually.
You can actually advertise on the show. You would get a 2-minute ad space, which is a steal. A steal. And at the Your Cats Answer the Mail tier, you get exactly that. Your cats get integrated into the gimmick, and you get an opportunity to participate in the response to listener feedback. So, tons of good stuff. Early episodes, show docs, bonus episodes. It's a good time. Rocky, Tegan, is it a good time?
It's a good time. Also, I want to add, if you guys subscribe to get some access to the show notes, right?
Yeah, all of our patrons get access to the show docs.
Then you'll be able to find out the additional Kojima names that Brian was able to generate. I'm just going to put those in the doc for anyone who wants to know.
Good times. I mean, and honestly, that sounds like more of a threat than a promise, but if you like being threatened, join our Patreon.
We're threatening them with a good time, Brian.
Yep. Forced awkward transition. Who would like to discuss the news?
Well, we're already in the news.
Yeah, we're already in the news now. Now you just start the news.
Mm-hmm. It's like you didn't listen to the show last week.
Fuck my biscuit maker.
Oh, God.
So Stadia, right?
Yeah, Stadia,
Sure, yeah.
That thing that you were super excited about and were gonna sign up for and then canceled your early sign up for it because it was turning into a dumpster fire.
Tegan, let's be fair. You thought that initial presentation was impressive too.
I did, yeah, but I didn't also, actually sign up for it, so.
I'm just saying, look, let's be fair here.
I think lots of initial presentations are great, you know? I'm an encouraging person.
Okay. So they had an AMA. Apparently people aid too many things because their answers were all bad.
Uh-oh.
Here's some high points from that AMA. And by high points, I mean low points. They announced that on day one, people who play Stadia on PC through a Chrome browser will not have support for 4K, will not have support for HDR, and will not have support for Dolby 5.1. These features will come in 2020, and these features will come for PC players. No indication as to when 4K, HDR, or 5.1 will roll out to people using the Chromecast Ultra. Stream Connect, which allows one player's Stadia viewpoint to be shown to another player, is not going to be available in any launch game, and by the end of the year, it'll only be in one game. State Share, which allows you to create a Chrome link to share a save file and allows for jump in via YouTube streams, will not be integrated into any game until next year. Again, despite the fact that the service is launching with a game where that is a promised feature in the form of Ghost Recon, what's it called? Breakpoint, Ghost Point, Point.
Breakpoint.
Yeah, that game where they advertise the feature will not have that feature at launch. Only thing that Google Assistant can do for Stadia at launch is to launch Stadia. So despite their initial presentation saying stuff like you could ask Google Assistant I'm having trouble with this part of the game, it'll go get you a YouTube walkthrough or whatever. None of those features work. The only thing Google Assistant can do is launch Stadia. Family sharing does not work. In order for multiple people to play games on a Stadia account, you will need to buy multiple game licenses. Isn't that great? Isn't that cool?
That sounds pretty shitty.
It also sounds like the industry standard.
No. Okay, so, Rocky, if you buy a game from the Nintendo eShop, and it is set to your home console, or if you buy a game on an Xbox One, or you buy a game on a PS4, and it is the primary console for the user, meaning it's set to their primary console, for all three of those devices, another user can log in and play the other installed software as a secondary user. As long as the primary user says, this is my main console, other people can play the games which are installed on the device.
Oh, yeah. I guess, like, what I was thinking was, like, not at the same time. I may have misunderstood.
Yeah, okay. Sorry I didn't make it clear. So the idea is like, let's say little baby junior son of a bitch logs into your Stadia account. Mm-hmm. They can't just launch that you've bought. They have to buy a separate license.
That sucks.
Okay. Yeah, that's worse than usual, yeah.
Google's like, don't worry, family sharing is coming next year.
Okay.
Apparently, at some point, Stadia will have achievements, but it doesn't have them at launch. They're like, don't worry, we're tracking your achievements behind the scenes. So whenever achievements go live, you'll get all the achievements you're owed.
That's just like the fakest shit I've ever heard. What? We're definitely watching your achievements, bro. You just can't see them, but they're totally there. We promise. We'll get them to you when we get them to you. Like, oh, shit.
Google's out here writing fucking IOUs for achievements.
Oh, god damn it.
The only Chromecast Ultras that will be able to run Stadia are the ones that ship as part of the Founders Packs. They need to push an update to all of the other Chromecast Ultras in order for it to be able to do it.
Whack.
And they're like, we'll do it soon after launch.
Whack.
The Buddy Pass that was part of the incentive for buying a Founders Edition will not be included in the Founders Edition when they ship out. You'll get it about 2 weeks after you receive your bundle, barring unknown issues.
Whack. Holy shit. It's like they committed to the date, and then it's like, yeah, we'll fit all the stuff, and we totally got it.
You cannot buy games for Stadia through a web browser on a desktop or on a television. You must use a phone.
Wait, so now they're trying to trick people into buying pixels to, like...
I like my Pixel.
I mean, sure, if you already have one.
I mean, yeah, I like it, but, like, I would not buy it for system.
You wouldn't buy it for the ability to access a web store?
Yeah, no, I would not. That's stupid.
Isn't that great? The phone is needed for initial setup and for buying games. And during the AMA, they wouldn't answer the question about whether or not web support for game purchases would be ahead later. At the time of launch, mobile support will only be the Pixel phone. Android support is, quote, still to be determined. So, like, even though Android is Google's architecture, they can't even commit to supporting the OS on platforms other than Pixel.
Wow.
Rocky, is this taking your full energy?
This is really whack. It sounds like they wanted to do, like, what Apple's doing, but they, like, gave a date that's, like, 3 years too early. Like, 3 whole years.
Yeah, like, everything that they're doing are things that are either being done by Microsoft or Apple better. The Stadia controller, the wireless functions of it can only work with a Chromecast Ultra. To use the controller with either a phone or a tablet, you'll need to plug it in using a USB-C cable.
Oh my god. Like, it's just not done. Like, just tell us you're not done.
Generic USB controllers will work with PCs or phones, but can't be used with the Chromecast.
This is so stupid.
Yeah, this is dumb as shit.
Google is now warning that data usage for Stadia...
Oh god.
Oh. Yeah, this is the thing that everyone said, like, immediately.
Data usage for Stadia will reach 20 gigs an hour.
Oh, man.
For a 4K HDR signal. However, if you limit your quality to 720p, it should reduce it to 4.5 gigs an hour.
I'm exhausted. I need a nap. Hang on. I gotta lay down. This is so dumb.
And Google says, you should expect regular games as part of your Stadia Pro subscription, but will not commit to a schedule of how many games and how frequently Stadia Pro subscribers will get. As a point of reference, PlayStation Plus users currently receive 2 free games a month. Xbox Gold users currently receive 4 games a month. Google can't commit to frequency or volume. So right now, Stadia Pro subscribers will get Destiny 2 at launch, but beyond that, they won't commit to any kind of volume. So that went well.
Is that it? Is that the whole thing?
One other thing, which I didn't include here, which I should have, which is that people who have pre-orders that they didn't cancel are starting to get their shipping notices of when they're going to get their Stadia pre-order bundles.
Mm-hmm.
People who ordered on literally the first day of availability are getting ship date notifications as late as December 15th.
Okay, is that it? Is that the thing?
Google, in an effort to try and create some goodwill, has told Stadia pre-order customers in the San Francisco Bay Area, hey, since there's been so much confusion around the Stadia launch, we're going to hand deliver your Stadia. Apparently, Google marked a bunch of customers in the San Francisco Bay Area as being hand delivery, since they weren't going to go into the custody of UPS or FedEx. And when they marked them hand delivery, deleted the delivery addresses so they don't know where to take the packages to. That's it.
Google, you whack motherfuckers.
Wow.
Are you kidding me with this shit? Y'all, you guys want to be a platform holder so bad. And you thought it was so easy. Like, people haven't been doing this for decades and still messing up. Like, we got this in a couple of months. Man, fuck you guys. Are you kidding me? With this shit, you can't even keep up. You can't even see how the game is played. You're just like, I guess we put out video games or something. You made all these promises. All these promises about shit that we already know you can't do. Like, and it's because you're not selling to us. That's the thing. You're not trying to sell Google Stadia to Brian, Rocky, and Tegan. Even if you got Brian and Tegan for like a couple of months.
To be fair, I think they had us for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like basically when E3 happened and the fucking Emperor had no clothes.
Yeah, then we were like, wait a minute. This ain't right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, the people that they're selling to, who peripherally understand video games, who don't keep up with the media, that don't pay too much attention to the tech, they just want to plug some shit in and play, and they'll pay someone to allow them to do that, and maybe they don't want to buy a console every 5, 7, 10 years or whatever. You try to give them an opportunity to jump the gun, and you're just trying to grift these people. Like, Google Stadia is a fucking grift in 2019, and also future 2020, it looks like.
The idea of like a very low impact purchase for a potentially casual consumer in order to be able to access a lot of video games is exactly a promise that Apple is delivering on right now. But they didn't run around and say, hey guys, we're a platform holder for a whole new platform, even though they are essentially a platform holder for a whole new platform.
Brian, what's the name of that one console? It's supposed to be focused at children. It's a really simple controller. They're saying their games won't be over $10.
Oh, fuck. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I need to find their name because, like, now I'm rooting for them to crush Stadia. That's what I want.
God damn it, Rocky. And I'm so sorry I'm blanking. Intellivision.
Intellivision, eat these clowns.
Yeah, the Intellivision Amico. The Amico took games to Gamescom, and everybody raved about it and said that their business plan was together and that the controller was good. People seemed to know what the fuck they were talking about. Imagine a future where the new Intellivision console makes more sense and appears to be a more stable platform for development than fucking Google.
Brian, I'm beyond imagining. I'm wishing, dog. I'm praying for it. I'm gonna pray on it.
I'm hoping against all hope.
You guys watched the Amico trailer from Gamescom, right?
I did, yeah.
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 I remembered Amico, I just couldn't remember the company.
Like, it looked good.
It did. We want to see them, like, go right for the jugular and then rip it straight out of their entire body.
I suppose that, like, when over the course of E3, a representative of Google said in all seriousness, when responding to questions about data caps, as a response, gamers rise up.
I remember that.
I mean, that was, like, a flag to be sure, but, like, I don't think any of us realized quite how large of a flag it was.
Yeah.
How completely horse-fucked.
Yeah, like, we were like, that's not great, and then we looked a little harder and went, ooh, this whole thing isn't great.
It's like, yo, you remember the Xbox One launch and how much that sucked? Well, hold my beer. Like, you remember the PS3 launch and how bad that sucked? Hold my beer.
Dude, I want them to fail, like, on astronomical, like, fake Atari box levels. Like, I want this to be a bigger embarrassment than Google Glass. Like, I'm looking for straight-up Baraka-level fatalities in television versus Google Stadia right now. That's what I want.
The losing the addresses...
Losing? That's in quotation marks. You know it's in quotation marks, Brian. They don't want to remember those. Like... This is not
or the requiring phones for like purchase. Like, you can't fucking summon a web interface. Like, you can't sell stuff.
Google has like 6 stores, and they're saying only this one works on our phones. Like, fuck off, guys. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
Oh, dude, this is like egregious. This is one of the things that need to die on day one, like 100%. Ooh.
I have a coworker who has a Stadia pre-order.
Sure.
And we were talking about it when, like, you know, I was like chatting with him about my Apple TV and how much I'm enjoying it, and how, like, it's really fun to, like, just open up, like, a game store and be like, hey, that looks interesting, I'm just going to download it. Or, hey, that looks interesting, I'm going to try that. And knowing that, like, there's no additional out-of-pocket, and how that a small, you know, because comparatively 120 or so is a small catalog, but a small, very highly curated catalog of good games to pick from is a strong incentive. And the ability to have a save file that just follows me around on my devices is an incentive. He's like, you know what? It's like, let me check in on my Stadia pre-order. Pulls up his Stadia pre-order. It's like, oh, apparently I'll be getting it around the end of November, even though it comes out next Monday.
Damn, rip the kid.
Yeah.
Rip the man. He's probably a man, I'm assuming. I don't know.
He's a full-on ass man.
No, sorry, it's the wrong meme. The correct meme is sorry to this man. Saw him in the street, I wouldn't know him. Sorry to this man.
So, any closing thoughts on Stadia before we move on to our next topic?
I am praying for your defeat and wishing that those who are more deserving of your spotlight take it as soon as possible.
Back out now. Don't come back.
Tegan?
Stop. It's not you. Stop it. No.
I think that Google Stadia is very definitely not Alexander Hamilton, because they are clearly throwing away their shot.
Yeah.
Oof.
Get out and don't come back.
Wait, aren't they actually like Aaron Burr, like specifically? Because they kept their plans close to their vest, and it turns out they don't have positions. And they're just falling apart.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Google Stadia, the Aaron Burr of the video game platform wars.
Not a good look, man. Not a good look. You're the villain in our history books. Anyway, here we go.
Which is, I feel like Stadia is the Aunt Peggy of console releases.
Damn, Peggy don't deserve that.
Peggy was good, okay?
We have different opinions on this play. It's fine, whatever.
You don't think that, like, sandwiched into a song for, like, comedy bit, you know, like, and Peggy, like...
I thought it was, it's not great for the actress, obviously, but, like, you know, it's fine.
And Stadia.
Oh, God. No, what was Brian, what's the name of the parody of Hamilton that they do in Sunnyside?
Oh, Mondale.
Yeah, there we go. He's the Mondale. Stadia's the Mondale.
Oh, that reminds me, Rocky. I am owed your thoughts on Perfect Harmony.
No, that's definitely true. However, we are also, again, in news. And so, like, we need to do this during
Rocky,
banter, right?
I will shit your pillowcase.
Oh, my God. I mean, I'm going to take that risk. We'll try this again next week.
I'm going to turn this car around. I'm turning it around right now. We're going back up to banter. And when you guys are ready, we'll come back and do the news. But I'm not putting up with this. Let's go.
Okay. Jesus, but, like, I had a whole thing for TV. Brian, can we please just do this next week?
Fine.
Thank you. I appreciate your patience. Tegan, what's the story?
So Niantic has finally opened up It's Pokemon Go sponsored location program for smaller businesses.
Okay. That's a good thing.
Just in time for holiday. Hey! So the small business locations are going to start rolling out in the winter in the US. Applications for the businesses interested in signing up are available now. Basically, you'll get yourself a Pokestop right at your business so that Pokemon Go players are gonna pop by and be like, hello, let me spin this stop. Oh, a thing here. Well, I may as well get some coffee before I head to my next location. And then they're gonna spend the money that they're not dumping into Niantic at your local business or something.
Hopefully. That's part of the idea.
I mean, like, obviously they'd been doing it with, like, corporations. So, like, Starbucks has locations and, what else? Sprint stores have locations. Yeah, so now, like, other places can get on it, which is neat. The location next to my local GameStop, used to be a Starbucks. But then the Starbucks moved, and a local coffee shop went into that spot. The local coffee shop, contacted Niantic, and instead of them removing the spot, they just changed it to the name of the new local business.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Do you think GameStop will get in on this? I mean, they should, but, like, do you think they will?
I think it would be up to the individual districts, probably. Like, and individual stores, whether or not they want to fill it out. And I think places that have a large employee base that play Pokemon Go will get in on it. But other stores will let the opportunity slip them by.
Oof. For sure.
But, like, this could be really nice for, like, small towns and stuff where there isn't a lot of stuff going on, you know?
I think this is especially important because, like, rural, like, Pokemon Go players have been shafted for, like, years.
They've been suffering.
And, like, there are some good players that I know play in, like, rural areas, and, like, they just travel. They just drive, like, the 40 minutes, like, a weekend to, like, walk in, like, high-traffic places.
In a park.
Yeah. Like, fuck, rural areas got parks. Like, let them live. Give them their stops. Fuck.
Now they're gonna get them stops, because all they gotta do is fill out the application. And they'll be rolling out this winter right in time for holiday season, so you can Pokemon Go while you Pokemon shop.
Hopefully it's a nice little boost for them. Support small businesses.
I'm excited. I think it's good.
Any thoughts, Brian?
It'll be interesting to see, like, just from, like, a risk management perspective, like, what kind of vetting is going to go on with the businesses on Niantic's side.
Okay.
All right.
Because I see, like, a couple layers.
You foresee a future where, like, someone says, like, oh yeah, there's totally a business here, but really it's like a dark back alley, and they're like, all right. And someone just walks down there and gets stabbed.
I guess that's an entire other level. Like, is it even a business? And then, like, layer 2 is, like, does Niantic want a business, the program, if, like, what they are is, like, a rubber dick store? Like, let's say I sell rubber dicks. Does Niantic want that kind of, like, integration with my business?
That's an interesting idea, yeah.
You know, if I'm like, hey, if you're going to stop by my stop to pick up something to poke at you, maybe get a Pikachu.
Oh my god, and it's just Pikachu dildos. Let's go.
That's right.
I mean, there are already Pokemon-shaped dildos, if that's what you're into.
This Pikachu does not use quick attack. And then I guess there's a whole other layer, which is, like, businesses which aren't necessarily from, like, high-risk SMIs, like adult or drug paraphernalia. I am also sure that, like, Niantic does not want to integrate with a, like, say, a dispensary or something.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what about businesses which are not high-risk SMIs that just have, like, incredibly bad reputations, like, locally?
Well, you could still swing by the stop without having to support the business.
Okay.
It also could be, like, an opportunity for the business to try to, like, generate better PR. Like, they get more people in the area, and then, like, they make a positive impression. They may try to, you know, improve, like...
Have either of you guys ever heard of Amy's Baking Company?
No.
No?
Nice ABC,
Okay.
though. Shout out to them.
So Amy's Baking Company is a business in the Phoenix metro area, which was featured on that, like, Gordon Ramsay show where he, like, shows up and, like, yells at you.
Kitchen Nightmares, maybe?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, for people being dumbasses.
And in the history of the show, only twice has Gordon Ramsay said to the people who own the business, "You're a fucking nightmare person who's beyond all help. I'm just going to leave."
And Amy's Baking Company was one of them.
And Amy's Baking Company was one of them. And the things that they would do to customers were like absolutely insane. Like going and getting prepackaged food from a grocery store and then bringing it back and serving it to a customer in the grocery store container.
I can't remember if that's illegal or not. There was like a place that got in trouble for like buying Popeye's chicken and then like serving it to customers, like at a huge like uptick. And I don't think it's protected by like first sale doctrine. Is that illegal, Bran? I don't remember.
That sounds illegal. That sounds very illegal.
The things that they would do to customers were like beyond spectacularly awful. Taking up food from customers while they were eating.
Jesus.
If they saw somebody get their phone out, they'd be like, no pictures. Like, I take your food, you pay double, that kind of thing. Chasing customers out into the parking lot, yelling at them. Being like, okay, it's time to order. If you're not ready, go fuck yourself, that kind of thing.
That sounds like a really intense bakery.
Oh, yeah. And also, like, bizarrely and antagonistically, like, responding to, like, every Yelp review.
Yeah, because that's effective. That's a good use of your time.
They would call the people who review their business the Yelps and the Reddits and the shits. And I'm just thinking about, like, how bad the reputation of this restaurant is.
Why does it still exist?
It finally imploded. But, like, picture a place like Amy's Baking Company wanting to integrate with this, like, Niantic program. And that's where I think you start to get into stuff like, you know, like reputation management. Because if I'm Niantic, I don't want a business like that to use my product in any kind of way for their image rehabilitation project. Like, I don't want to be part of that. Like,
that's fair.
Because, gosh, like, I don't want my brand associated with that. And, like, and hell, there are businesses out there which do far worse.
Yes.
You know, like, I mean, how many horror stories have we read about, like, say, restaurants that, like, say, tell a gay couple, "Hi, we're monster people, and we're terrible. Could you please leave?" And, like, now picture that place, Bigots Are Us, being like, "We would very much like to help with the dispensing of Bulbasaurs." That's bad. And so I certainly hope that Niantic's, like, risk department is robust enough to, like, adequately vet any applicants. Because there are definitely multiple layers of vetting that needs to occur. Like, one is just a very superficial examination. Like, is this even a business? Does this business exist? And then, like, beyond that, is this a business type that we can support? And if it is a business type that we can support, would the reputation of this business cause any harm or negative impact to our product by association?
Well, history has shown us that Niantic isn't, you know, the most robust when it comes to vetting and, like, carefully planning out their rollout. But I think they've learned, especially with that class action lawsuit that they recently lost, that they should take some amount of care in, like, figuring out where to create their virtual augmented reality spaces on top of real ones. And so hopefully there is going to be some vetting process. It'll probably be ultimately underwhelming, but maybe it'll be sufficient.
Well, I will keep my fingers crossed.
But in other news, guys, so, you know, China X video games hasn't really gotten along lately. You guys know this. We talk about it a lot.
Yep.
And China's biggest video game company, which is arguably one of just the biggest video game companies, Tencent, is trying to build up their reputation elsewhere. China's huge, and so is Tencent. But Tencent isn't really that huge outside of China in terms of, like, presence and brand recognition. So they're trying to, like, break into US and European markets, which honestly isn't a bad idea for them. But the thing is that one of the things that they're doing is they're trying to leverage their relationships with Nintendo to try to get Nintendo to lend them some of their IP so they can develop their own games for American and European markets. Tencent and Nintendo are currently in partnership right now because Nintendo wants to sell the Switch in China, and Tencent has essentially promised them that they could guide them through that process, you know, offer some guidance for working in the Chinese market. And a recent interview with the Wall Street Journal revealed that Tencent is not confident in, like, making new IP, so they want to use established IP. So, I mean, I don't know what a Tencent, like, developed, like, Mario game looks like, but it might be on the horizon, and I don't know how to feel about it, honestly.
I On one hand, like, I'm intrigued when Nintendo allows people to screw with their property.
It's definitely a novelty, yeah.
Cadence of Hyrule was definitely a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, unequivocally.
Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a wonderful example of, like, letting other people into the kitchen and it turning out well.
One of the games of the year.
Yeah, that fucking opera rabbit is an all-time king. He is a king. He is a great king. Like, singing a song designed to, like, dunk on Mario, I'm all about it. But I'm having a hard time thinking about the advantages of a 10-cent Nintendo game.
Right. I'm like, I kind of feel bad because it already exists, but if I were to, like, dream up a 10-cent Nintendo game, I probably would have come up with something like Mario Kart Tour, like, in its current state. I feel bad about that because Tencent is definitely immensely successful, especially in the smartphone like space. But they definitely do these like freemium free-to-play games that like blow up really huge in the Chinese market. And it might be because they're starved for consoles and like other PC games and whatnot. But it might be because like they're really good at making those games. I'm like low-key worried about what Tencent might do with, say, like the Metroid property. Or, like, the Zelda property, or even something like Kirby, which, honestly, Kirby might come first. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even sure if it's worth the trade. Well, I mean, monetarily, it's obviously worth the trade for, like, Nintendo releasing, like, the Switch in China. Like, if they can get, like, the Switch straight up in China, it's definitely worth them fucking with even, like, Zelda as like a mobile game in American European markets, like in terms of just like cost to like goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, man, I still don't want it to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tencent is a weird company too, just because of like how they have their hooks to varying degrees into other companies already.
Yeah.
You let Ubisoft develop a fucking Mario plus Rabbids game, my first inclination isn't to think, oh, is this the beginning of an attempt of Ubisoft trying to do a leveraged buyout of Nintendo?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I tell you what, with Tencent, I always feel like inviting Tencent is inviting Tencent, you know? Like,
yeah. It's like letting a vampire in the house, man.
Yep.
You probably shouldn't do it.
Don't do it.
Yep. So,
invite me in your house instead. I'll soak up all your Wi-Fi. Eat all your candy. Invite me to your house before you start a diet. I'll eat all your junk food and leave.
there you go.
It's a public service.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So I guess I will pay attention to that and hope for the best.
Tegan, any thoughts?
Concern noises increase.
True enough. Brian has our last story, right?
Yep.
Microsoft is holding their annual fan event this year called X019 for Xbox fans. Last year's X event, X018, was held in Mexico City. This year, they're holding it in London. They had a stage show to kick off X019 to remind people that these events are pretty much the same thing as those fucking, like, PlayStation events that Sony had held for a few years. But these just have considerably less media traction, like less people pay attention to them. Even though like a shit ton of announcements came out of X019. Rare announced a new game and IP, Everwild, which was very light on details about like what exactly Everwild is, except that it'll be like a persistent online social game where users are controlling a variety of like animal types. And it seems to be pretty far off, so it's Project Scarlet title. Almost certainly. You know, just based on like how far off the title is.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see what that looks like because this is the second one of those that Rare has made. You know, like first was Sea of Thieves. They've now had an opportunity to have some years of feedback of Sea of Thieves and trying to grow and update Sea of Thieves based on customer feedback. So what will Everwild look like in light of that? Obsidian announced a new game, which is coming next spring. It is called Grounded. It is a sandbox sim, but it is also literally a sandbox sim. It is about some kids who are playing in a backyard who get shrunk while they're playing in the sandbox. And so now they're wee teeny and your giant sprawling map is the backyard. And watching the early footage and watching the trailer, I got a real Fortnite Save the World vibe.
Oh, alright.
There appeared to be like lots of like breaking and building, lots of like horde mode fighting. Saw like some footage of, a group of 4 kids fighting off like a horde of like fire ants. And definitely like building a little fort to protect themselves against the onslaught of fire ants. And they said that the game will have like ongoing narrative RPG hooks. And it's designed for squad play, and it'll focus on like horde interaction. It was something that definitely looked like something that could really take off depending on like how they court a customer base and what kind of customer base they court. Because Microsoft already has a built-in customer base that really enjoys horde-based combat, which are people who buy Gears of War games. Because the most common mode just played by Gears players when they're not playing the single-player campaign is the horde mode. Gears players love horde modes. So if you take a platform which already has a decent-sized player population of people who like horde mode gameplay, and then you take another player population, which are people who feel ignored and disenfranchised, which are Fortnite Save the World players, and then you create kind of like a twee, cute, fun-looking environment, which is sandbox survival, literally set in a sandbox. It seems like the kind of thing that you draw in a decent amount of customers if you're saying that it's coming from like a well-respected developer. Obsidian doing this thing definitely makes it something worth pay attention to. Ninja Theory announced the release date for their next game, Bleeding Edge, which is that like multiplayer like squad game, kind of like a hero combat game.
Oh, right, yeah.
Microsoft announced that they are publishing the next game from Don't Nod Entertainment, which is a 3-part adventure game in the style of Life is Strange. The game is titled Tell Me Why. And in the game, you control a pair of twins, which are a sister and a trans man. They are exploring the emotional baggage of their childhood.
Okay.
There is a supernatural hook. Don't Nod had the actor who is doing the voice work for the lead on stage. They made a point of casting a trans man as the trans man in the game. You can play the entire game with one sibling or the other. So whether you pick the sister or brother, there's a full narrative for both, or you can swap back and forth. They said that there is a supernatural hook like Life is Strange. And honestly, looking at the preview that they showed, if somebody had told me that this is Life is Strange 3, I would have believed them. And so I have to wonder if the reason that it's not Life is Strange 3 is because Don't Nod doesn't want to fuck up that Square Enix money. And so, like, when Microsoft came to them and said, like, hey, we want to publish a game from you, that they said, okay, what we're going to pretty much do is make the next Life is Strange game. It just won't be called Life is Strange. It looks like it has a higher degree of, like, technical and graphical polish than the Life is Strange games have had. Like, it already looks sharper. Also, the window between when episodes will come out appears to be shorter. All 3 episodes are due out during the summer next year. They're like episodes 1 through 3 will all come out during the summer. And traditionally the window for when Don't Nod episodic releases occur has been much larger. So it looks like they took more time on development on the front end. They announced that Project xCloud will be expanding to Windows 10 PCs next year. And that Project xCloud is rolling out native support for a larger variety of wireless Bluetooth controllers, including the DualShock 4.
Yeah, it's a real, reach. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also, they announced that Project xCloud is going to be included in Microsoft Game Pass at no additional charge. So I'm over here looking at Stadia, right? Where Stadia's like, please pay us $10 a month for the privilege of getting some free games at some point. And then pay full price retail for games which are not part of your Stadia Pro. And then meanwhile, Microsoft is like, oh, well, part of Xbox Live Gold, you're getting 4 games a month. Plus with Game Pass, you have access to a library of, at this point, over 200 games at any given time that you can just play as part of Game Pass. And now also access to xCloud. Consider that xCloud includes access to games which are not even necessarily part of the xCloud library, but what they're doing is just playing your local copy of a game streaming from your Xbox. Like, that seems like a pretty good deal. They also announced that right now there are 53 active titles in the xCloud beta. And as a reminder, once again, Stadia has 12 games slated through the end of the year, and that's out of alleged beta. The amount of difference in like prep and polish on this is just amazing. xCloud is still in beta and already has 4 times the amount of titles. And one of the things which is like definitely a difference maker is that with Stadia, a lot of those titles, which are part of that initial batch of 12, older titles, like stuff like last year's Assassin's Creed or Payday 2, like things that have been available for like quite some time.
There's 3 Tomb Raider games on it.
Yeah, and then like meanwhile over here, like Microsoft's like, oh, you want that Gears 5? Fine, here you go. It's in the beta. They also announced that they are adding Halo Reach to the Master Chief Collection. They announced 50 plus games are being added to Game Pass through the end of the holiday season. Some pretty hot titles which are in that list. Rage 2 just came to Game Pass, effective Friday. Also Remnant from the Ashes, which has been kind of like a hot topic point over the last several months, is now on Game Pass. Stuff which is coming to Game Pass through the holiday season includes like Carrion, Darksiders 3, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 Remastered, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, and the 13 trilogy, Final Fantasy 15, Haven, Life is Strange 2, My Friend Pedro, Skatebird, Streets of Rage 4, Tekken 7, The Escapist 2, Red Lantern, The Red Strings Club, The Witcher 3, West of Dead, shit that people actually want to play. And when they were going through this list of stuff which is coming to Game Pass, and how the list of 53 additional games can get added to Game Pass before the end of the holiday season, Phil Spencer took that time to mention, since that included 10 Final Fantasy titles, that Final Fantasy XIV is coming to Xbox One. That Final Fantasy XIV on Xbox One will support cross-play with PS4 players.
That's cool, because Sony doesn't actually run the Final Fantasy XIV servers. Like, it doesn't run through them. It goes through Square Enix. But it's good that they get PS4 crossplay, assuming... Interested if they're going to require multiple licenses for, like, across Microsoft systems, the same way that they did for, like, PC versus PS4.
Microsoft announced 3 pop-up events in New York, London, and Sydney to celebrate the launch of Minecraft Earth, which will be exiting beta in December. Be interesting to see what they're finally being a large market competitor to Pokemon Go with a recognizable brand name being out there does. Because so far, like, a lot of the augmented reality stuff has not necessarily had brands which have had the same, like, heft to consumers.
Whoa, you're, like, throwing Garfield Go under the bus like that?
I am putting Garfield Go directly under the bus. But, like, Minecraft Earth has been in beta now for some time, about a year, coming out of beta in December. The first thing I'll pay attention to is how sustainable are these pop-up events, because Christ knows there's definitely been more than one story about, like, Niantic holds pop-up event for Pokemon Go, implodes, please look at pictures of sad men wearing Pikachu hats. So whether or not, like, that happens here remains to be seen, but I'll definitely pay attention for, like, are there guys dressed as Minecraft Steve sitting around sad in a public park in New York because they went to Minecraft Earth and nothing happened?
Well, the thing with dressing like Minecraft Steve is you're just wearing a teal t-shirt, so I don't know that that's necessarily, like, the best characterization.
Well, how about some dipshit who's standing there holding a pixel pickaxe, holding his phone, looking bummed out?
That's a better one, yeah.
In Exile confirmed that Wasteland 3 will be launching May 19th for Xbox One, PC, and yes, PS4. So it was a pretty good show. So good for them. Yeah. The biggest takeaway for me was the xCloud and Game Pass stuff, because I think it definitely speaks to what Microsoft thinks the market looks like right now. And one thing that Phil Spencer said about Scarlet on stage was that Scarlet, he said, will not be out of place in either price or power at the launch of the next generation. And when the Xbox One launched, people felt that the original Xbox One, not the X, but the original Xbox One was both overpriced and underpowered. And that seems like him speaking directly to, that launch concern, saying that it will be, appropriately positioned both price and power. So I'm really curious to see, what that looks like. And now that, Microsoft is just having events, we had, 3 new game announcements during their XO19, Everwild, Grounded, and Tell Me Why from Don't Nod. That's 3 new game announcements, plus, dates for a whole bunch of their stuff. And some of those dates are, H1 for next year for, Wasteland and the Ninja Theory game. And we don't have a solid date for Grounded, but Grounded is also supposed to be half one next year. So one of the things that people kept on saying about Microsoft is when are the games, when are the games, when are the games? Well, it seems like the games are finally happening now, which is pretty cool. So I'll definitely continue to pay attention there. But speaking of the games, who wants to know what garbage came out on Steam today?
Me!
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see here. We have 6 games on Steam today. Kicking off with Escape from the Lost Moon. Cosmic Pilot has lost his ship on the remote asteroid populated by disaster human colony, where hungry flesh eaters, villainous mercenaries, and monsters are everywhere. Chased by hostile creatures, he keeps trying to escape. Only you and his awesome arsenal could help on the risky way. This is a game that cost $1.79. It is a game that looks like it cost $1.79. Bullet points include 5 extended level zones, various ammunition, different combat tactics, traps and aggressive environment, allied and hostile characters. Much more. Much more is a very exciting bullet point. Then we have Mailbox, an arcade puzzle game for the whole family. Drop the letter in the mailbox. Use the floor buttons and teleport moving platforms. I don't know what to make of this. I'm looking at the screenshots and I honestly don't understand what this game is.
Okay.
Next up is Favo! And I say it like that because there's an exclamation point. Favo Plus. Connect, merge, and collect the elements. Favo Plus is a new puzzle game which you won't be able to put down. The rules are quite simple and the gameplay is stress-free. Slide the element panels with your fingers to move them. Tap the panel. Oh, they literally just copied and pasted their product description from it looks like a mobile store.
Ugh. All right.
And then had the balls to price it at $7. Good times. Next up is Rest in Pieces. Welcome to Rest in Pieces. Control AI-driven agents in the battle against hordes of demons. Show your skills on the battlefield and global leaderboards in this single-player horror survival VR shooter. It is $14 and it looks like a whole bunch of pre-built assets from the Unity store in this VR game. So that's good. Next up is Hover Shift. Test your reflexes with Hover Shift and get the highest score on this little arcade game. This game is 59 cents. It is in early access. Characteristics listed are trendy voxel graphics, 20 integrated hovercraft ready to be unlocked with coins, daily reward system, arcade atmosphere, best score is saved.
Great.
Yep. Next up is Red Evil. Alice returned to her hometown after a long journey, but nobody was there. Save the inhabitants and defeat the leader of the gang. This is a bunch of dog shit pre-built assets. A heavy fog filter. Oh. Survival features. Oh, good. Mature content description. Developers describe content like this. Number 1, blood. Number 2, death. Number 3, the scenes of finishing off the enemy and your death. And then finally, Color Soul, memories. A brand new stylized game set in a colorless world. In the beginning, unlock colors as you visit different areas of the world and unveil the question of who you are and where you come from after losing your memories. A new indie game experience with new characters, a new world, new music, and new story. Wow. So now, I know it's not the most we have ever seen in this segment, but also it feels like we were spared the worst of what we usually see in this segment, so I'm going to take it. Rocky, take us home.
For sure. So everyone, and I know that this has been a lot, but once again, I feel like it's prudent that we remind you that this has been Impossible Coin. It is a show that we do every week. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and Spotify, and we'd really appreciate it if you told us what you thought. You can leave us a review on any of those places, or you can find us on social media. Brian's usually on Facebook, I tend to be on Twitter, and Tegan is also on Tumblr. It's all Impossible Coin. There's music at the beginning and end of this podcast. If you're interested in learning more about it, it's produced by our friend Big Sach. He's a good dude. You can find his work at soundcloud.com/BigSachandJ, or you can find him on Twitter as well at Illyry_Swank. Our logo was created by the eminent Lauren Moran. You can find her on Twitter at Lauren Moran or on her Patreon, and maybe throw her a couple of bucks because she does some good work. But that's us. This is the show.
And then Brian says the first word.
Is that word peace?
It is! And then I follow up with bye!
Later.
It's official. You suck.